tonight's podcast is brought to you by Boner Factory News from the year 2050.
Are you a fan of good, steamy news from the future? Boner Factory is proud to present its newest futuristic endeavor, News from the year 2050 with Dick Clarkson and Clark Dixon.
Well, hello again there, gents. I'm Clark Dixon. I'm here with my good friend Dick Clarkson.
Good to see you again there, Clark.
Glad to be here, Dick, and welcome to News from the year 2050. Isn't the future swell, Dick?
It's quite dapper, Clark, quite dapper.
That's swole, Dick.
This just in, Nintendo released the SNES Mini with double the expected stock at a whopping 5 units per country. Supreme Emperor Trump is threatening nuclear war with multiple small countries in order to obtain their allotted units. And related news, eBay stock has increased 100 points due to a member selling the $50 units for $80 million each.
That's amazing, Dick. 64K is now the new standard video format, despite the fact that it's indistinguishable from 32K, 16K, and even 4K. It's all the rage and everyone's on the fritz. Get the new 64K TVs and smartphones.
It looks so amazing, it's like looking straight out of a window and watching a television.
That's truly amazing, Dick. Cyborg Bill Gates, in related news, has filed bankruptcy because he forgot to turn off his mobile data before Netflix and chill.
Ooh, that 64K data is harsh.
Oh, that's harsh, Dick. In other news, Nintendo has sued somebody today.
Yeah, Nintendo is filing a lawsuit against Little Jimmy in New York City, PS 118, for drawing a picture of Mario and violating their copyright. Nintendo's lawyers delivered Little Jimmy a cease and desist letter, of which his response was to draw on it with red crayon and glue macaroni to it.
Well, I'm Clark Dixon, and I'm on the scene here right now with Little Jimmy. Little Jimmy, how does it feel to be sued by Nintendo?
Davey doesn't stop when I ask him to cease and desist. I just drew Mario in my room when Dad was telling Mommy to stop strutting her tits around. And now Nintendo's up my butt.
You can't say that on live air, yeah?
I think the foul-mouthed little bastard got what he deserved.
Yeah, little son of a bitch. He needs to learn that even in future we have decency laws here in place. Can't talk about your mother's problems on live radio.
Well, this has been News from the year 2050. I'm Dick Clarkson.
And I'm Clark Dixon. And hopefully we'll see you here again soon at UBD 7937, where we're going to see the titular Fatcom square off against Bonami in an all-holds-barred pachinko match to the death.
Can't wait, Clark.
Can't see you there, Dick.
Here we are again doing the exact same goddamn thing that we attempted to do last week.
Yeah, episode 80. Please, God, don't delete this edition.
Yeah, this is kind of like Capcom's version. Please don't delete this Turbo Alpha edition. It is episode 80, and
again.
However, instead of being January 1st like the original one was initially recorded, it's January 7th now. But this technically still is our first episode of the new year, so...
Woo! Happy New Year!
Yay! Happy New Year.
Yeah, very, very belated New Year.
I'm Lyle McClendon. I'm joined, as always, with my buddy in crime.
Go
Brendan
fuck
Gentry.
yourself, Mike.
Go fuck yourself, Brandon.
And
Consider myself fucked.
There's the big... A duality of pleasures, I see. You are now fucked. Yeah, the surprised ruin. We have Mike on the show with us. Mike
Hello,
McDaniel,
everyone.
Returning again. We have a bevy of alcohol.
Before the alcohol gets to our brains and, addles
it's
our
going to
memory,
happen tonight.
would you like to plug anything?
Bloodstain's doing good. Just got a new update released from the Kickstarter. The game looks very promising. So I think next up, people are going to see who won the speedrun competition. People are getting around to the 2 minute 30 second mark range for beating the demo in the speedrun comp.
That's cool.
Yeah, and they'll win a art book out of that. So, bloodstainfanforums.com is a website. I'm always there, and
If they want to hear your sexy voice, don't you have your own podcast about Bloodstain?
I do, yeah. I have a show, Bloodstain Community Broadcast. You can find that if you just search for it on any podcast place or YouTube.
Check it out if you're interested in Bloodstain. It goes into pretty good detail.
Even
about
if you're not, you should get interested.
Yeah.
If you're a Symphony of the Night fan, you'll definitely enjoy Bloodstain. It's made by the same guy.
We actually have an episode in the can where Mike come on with me back in October.
Yeah. We recorded one before this. We're keeping in the...
It's going to come out eventually. He'll go more details. It was
pre-Trump, right?
Yeah, it was. That actually a pretty funny little skit that never got released.
It was pre-Switch announcement, actually.
Yeah, it was. So that's going to be like unleashing a fucking time capsule on people.
It will be.
I'm sure Dick Clarkson and Clark Dixon will be there for that. Time traveling motherfuckers right there.
They're really good. They're really good.
It would have been a better episode if Brandon could have been there, but, too busy schooling.
Yeah, I'm a lame ass like that. And
it's okay.
Sometime in May, I'm going to have to miss this episode because we're going to Disney World.
All right.
Oh, that's cool.
Indoctrinate the children.
Yes.
I actually think May is when we're going on vacation this year, too.
So we might release that canned episode around then.
Yeah, that could be really good. That'd be really nice. But, so we're going to repeat our news from the last episode?
I don't have my news from the last episode because I'm stupid, so.
Well, obviously we're talking Chrono Trigger again, and in true Chrono Trigger fashion, we have went forward in time to talk about something that we talked about last week.
In the past, yeah. That's
so technically, the first episode of New Year is also a reboot of a already redone episode. So we're at that point now. We're going to start rebooting all of our episodes. Next week will be episode 81, Origins.
Yeah.
Redux. But we'll kick it off with a little bit of news. This is beer I made.
You made this?
I made this.
Can I have this?
Try some of it.
All right.
No, it's not the recycled kind of
experimental beer.
It's like a pass around beer.
Cheers.
It's not bad, I promise. I hand brewed it. It's got a darker lager kind of taste.
It's got a twist off cap. I feel like I'm putting a soda cap back on. I'm not used to doing that when I drink beer. Like, put the cap back on and keep it nice and carbonated. It's good, though. Thank you.
Indeed. Mario Kart 64 is what I said would be out last week, and by this time it is now out. Virtual Console. That's not real big news at this point, but
it's on there if you want it.
It's kind of cool. Double Dragon 4 has
Quadruple
been announced, and it is made in the same graphical style as the NES version.
Sweet. What is that on Virtual Console too?
PC, PS4, and Xbox One, I think.
And it's just like a normally released game, or is this digital only?
Digital only.
Okay.
Out.
I do recall this bit. It's not really news, but it's something I stumbled across that interested me. There's a game coming out in the future called Stygian Reign of the Old Ones. It was actually a Kickstarter game that was successfully backed last year, and it's a 2D RPG where it takes place in a post-Lovecraftian apocalyptic world.
The old ones, yeah, that was the tip-off there.
Yep. And in the game, you can create your characters from scratch from a number of different backgrounds and like feat type things, like that sort of coolness. But you can't really save the world. The world is already lost, so you can only play for revenge or for salvation. There's no takesy backsies. The world's fucked.
Have you talked about this on the show before?
I talked about it on the Deleted show.
Oh, okay. I've heard about this game somewhere else, and it actually sounds pretty cool.
It looks cool. It's got really creepy looking hand-drawn art to it.
So you actually are Cthulhu, I thought, though.
Oh, no, that's Cthulhu Saves the World.
Oh, that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, that's a very tongue-in-cheek RPG. This is a lot more serious business.
Oh, okay.
I love me some Lovecraft, though.
Yeah. All hell.
I don't have the article in front of me. I didn't write it down, but I did see one, I think yesterday, that people hacked the NES Mini, put their own games on it.
I knew it was coming because they had done that
Shit, I don't know where I left my phone. I had that actually pulled up on my phone, that article.
Well,
they said it's a soft mod, but they said it's a very complex one.
Yeah.
But
it's a lot easier
they figured out how to upload their own
Raspberry
games.
Pi going and put your games on there.
Yeah. I mean, has Nintendo actually at this point released any more minis? Has anybody actually heard about anybody that fucking getting one? Where they're like 2 or 3 that's trickled out?
Yeah, they went from a grand total of 12 to 14, I think. So, I mean, they're up in their production pretty good, apparently.
That's solid dick right there.
I bought one on eBay the other day for $20 million. That's a good deal.
God damn it, man.
I think I heard their stock price went up, so good job there.
Yeah.
I did see where somebody was trash talking Super Mario Run, just saying how Nintendo failed because they've only made $30 million profit of it. And I'm like,
holy shit.
How in the fuck is that a fail?
Like that.
How is that a fail? Like, how does that constitute as a fail at all?
Yeah. I wish I felt like that all the time.
No shit. I had a terrible failure in life. I'm thinking about ending my own because I accidentally made $45 million today.
Yeah, that's
fuck
like
my existence.
Their failure with Pokemon Go and Miitomo, all of their mobile apps, they just like get shitloads of downloads, even if the games aren't all that great. But Mario Run, man, Jimmy Kimmel / Fallon was like just flipping out on
Good
camera.
call there.
On camera when he got to play that.
It's one of them goober smoochers. I don't know which one, but
I mean, you press the button on this, or you press the screen, and he jumps, but you can't control which direction or anything he's going. Like, why not just go home and play Mario, or have a 3DS? You know, it's like they're trying to make phones the handheld console. It's if you're just relying on touch controls, that's not going to work. You're going to have some kind of tactile controller, and that's why something like the Switch still has a valid market, value, because people want to control their games like a controller.
Yeah, I agree. The only games I found that I really like on cell phones are games that are based on board games, because you don't need really precise controls for that. Touchscreen's fine for that. Like I always play. It's a Cthulhu-based board game by Fantasy Flight Games. Anyone who does board games, Fantasy Flight makes good shit.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's Elder Signs Omens on the phone. It's basically Elder Signs Yahtzee, but it's pretty fucking fun.
Drink more of it if you
No,
like.
it's the pass around beer.
It's fine. I'm going to drink some of it now.
It's a Glub Pass.
It's got a little fruity touch to it.
Mm-hmm. It said in the kit it would have either a like an orange or a green apple kind of
green
aftertaste.
apple, yeah, hitting the green apple
because that's actually the yeast in the beer. You can condition that shit for weeks. Possibly. Nintendo, January 12th, they're doing the big conference and revealing the release date and the price for Switch. But supposedly, it may have been leaked earlier. There is a UK retailer called GameSeek that supposedly has leaked that the price for the Nintendo Switch is going to be $245, and the release date is going to be March 17th.
That's not bad.
Mm-mm.
They're going to have to hit a low price
March
point
17th.
like that.
I think that's going to be one of the keys to saving their ass on this.
Well, that's one of the reasons why the Wii just blew out the 360 and the PS4.
Yeah, because it
was around that price mark back then.
Being catered toward families too. It kind of was like a family price point.
And every parent, I don't know, everyone who has little kids knows this. Every parent would love to have something like that to keep their kid off their fucking phone. No, you can't have my fucking phone and play Angry Birds on it because you're going to drop it in the fucking toilet, you little shit. Should have wore a condom.
Yeah, so take this $200 and something odd dollar thing and drop that.
Yeah, but that's
Hey,
fine. If you
why
fuck that up,
why don't
no
you
more
go-
video games.
Why don't you go play with the fucking toaster in the bathtub? How about that?
Yeah, they're going to sell all sorts of Nintendo accessories for making sure you're not going to drop this thing and break it because it's portable.
Okay. This may be like a side little rage rant thing. And I'm not naming names, but I got friends that are a couple friends. Believe it or not, I have a couple friends, but a couple of them are like hardcore. They're already Switch fanboy bandwagon, And they were like, one of them yesterday, I seen them in town, and they were asking me, like, have you heard anything else about Switch? Like, Good Old Gamers is so fucking large and in charge. I got insider.
We got a direct line.
I got
Nintendo.
some insider info.
You should have
here.
said, well, we're under NDA, so we can't talk about that.
Yeah, I'm under contract. But, you know.
We did kickstart Switch, but that's neither here nor there.
He's asking me all this, and he's like, oh, did you hear? They announced accessories yesterday. There's going to be accessories for Nintendo Switch.
Oh, no, goddamn.
I was just like, did you happen to own a Wii? Like, Nintendo's
Have you owned any console?
notorious. Oh, yeah.
The Atari had accessories.
And when it comes to Nintendo, they're so gimmicky. They'll sell you all sorts of shit you can think of.
Here's a golf club. It's just a piece of plastic, but it's a golf club.
Here's a robot you stack fucking pogs on.
Here's a backpack that will tactile feed your input into impacts in your back.
Here's a board that you stand on that tells you you're going to die in 5 years. Like,
here's a pad that you can, pound with your hands like you're running track and field.
There's a Luigi board.
Was there a Luigi board?
Yeah.
That sounds... No, that's your shit. That's awesome. I would summon Satan with the Luigi board. You guys should make some of that shit.
Fucking, back in here's a fucking heart beating underneath the boards in my home.
The Luigi board, hell yeah. Nintendo should get on that.
Yeah.
Because, Milton Bradley, they own Ouija, but they're still sold in Walmart. Go in there and get a Nintendo Luigi board.
Hell yeah.
I think it's funny that you got to be 21.
Is this Bowser talking, or is
21
this Mario?
to buy booze and 19 to buy cigarettes, Ouija boards for ages 8 and up. I'm like, apparently talking to the devil ain't that big of a fucking
It's
deal.
not the devil, it's Bowser. It's okay.
Whatever. It's like, yeah, I guess.
Devil never hurt anybody.
Never. Death never did nothing to nobody terrible. I guess. Oh, and lastly, Shenmue HD and the remastered domains have been registered, so
Cool.
maybe they're getting geared up for them.
I only know about Shenmue because of you guys, and right after Bloodstain's Kickstarter ended as the highest funded game Kickstarter ever, Shenmue 3 came in there and kicked its ass, yeah. But for a while, Bloodstain held the record.
Yeah. That's still impressive.
Yeah. Shenmue. Go to your docks and look for your... whatever. They're seamen.
Sailors.
They're looking for seamen in the docks.
Just the way they word everything in that song's... Or that... not song.
I know
that
they
game
won't,
cracks me up.
but
Just-
I really hope it goes back to that awful voice acting from the
I would like
Dreamcast.
to know where sailors hang out. Just who the hell you think you are? That one dude.
What do you know? Can you tell me?
away from me.
Can you tell me anything about Chinese people?
And his name is Rio.
Everyone says it
R-Y,
different.
and they go, that one fucking dumbass dude that stands by his motorcycle. Hello, Joe. Just
Some of the
the
old
way
ladies
he
are like,
says it.
"Hello, Roo." Like, what's this fucking Winnie the Pooh? You talking to Roo over here?
hello, Joe. Dude, some of the shit they say that just cracks me up, dude. I like that, especially when you start looking for the sailors and the fucking
Yeah.
people that hang around the bars and shit. I done told you, get your ass out here. Don't come back.
I heard they're really big and they got tattoos.
Excuse me, I would like to know where tattoos are. Ask somebody else. I'm busy. That's everybody's
Yeah.
favorite excuse. Ask them. I'm sorry, I can't talk to you right now. I got a little Betty tied up in my hotel room.
little Jimmy.
Well, thank you.
No, there's the child porn shit again. You got to break that.
Hey, we didn't bring it up. You
Yeah.
did.
No, you just said you got Jimmy tied up in the bed.
I don't mean you're fucking them. I don't mean you're fucking them.
There's a
just
difference.
tied up.
There's a difference between fucking and cleaving in twain. Like,
And then fucking. Like,
oh, yeah.
it ain't child porn if they're dead.
Hey, buddy, Slayer said it best. Go Slayer. Oh, God damn it.
What the fuck?
We can't make-
That's it for news. Like,
What? That's pitiful as well shit right there. Well, So, before we get on the topic, do we want to... Have we been playing anything other than our topic?
I'm saving it for next time.
By chance, I just wanted to bring up, are you going to be talking about a game that you recommended me recently?
Yes.
I've got it. I haven't started it yet. I got it
I beat it today.
yesterday, and I'm going to start playing it.
Hyperlight Drifter.
We're going to be talking that soon.
Oh, that got lots of hype.
That was a great fucking game.
Oh, is it?
For something for Brandon to send me a fucking message and be like, dude, you need to play this because I started playing it and I haven't quit.
Wait a minute. Brandon, you got Hyperlight Drifter?
Yeah.
But did you get that on Steam?
Yeah.
Are you breaking your rules about I need to finish all my Steam games first before I play any new Steam games?
No, because
that's so 2016 shit.
Because our buddy Chase Chandler sent me a $20 Steam card, so...
Uh-huh. Well, thank God he broke the streak, because it's about time you let all those games that you're never going to play be games you're never going to play. And get
That's
on to
one
the good
thing.
stuff.
I'm eventually going to play them.
Humble Bundle.
Gonna play them all.
Humble
Steam 'em
Bundle
on.
will load you up, man.
Yeah,
with
it will.
games.
I got 40 games and 40 more.
For $1.
Yeah.
Steam whore.
The only games I've been playing recently are not retro, but I just started and finished Witcher 3, and I love it. I've never played a Witcher game before.
How much fucking is there in that game?
There's lots of fucking. I mean, I could have fucked a lot more than I did fuck in that game, but I fucked at least twice in that game, and
Did
I
you?
wasn't even trying.
Okay, cool. Did
Shit, yeah.
you like get any levels for fucking up?
You don't get STDs, which is a good thing.
Okay.
How easy are these women?
By STDs, do you mean children?
Basically,
They were the worst STDs.
if you take a sword and chop people's heads off, chicks seem to dig that in that world, and you know, you can bet them.
So it's like real life, kind of.
Yeah, I guess, you know.
Get you some head, then get you some bed.
Can you have children on that game?
No.
It's not Fable.
Cool.
No, it's not Fable. In Fable, my wife had 2 wives, and she tried to keep them on opposite ends of the town, and they ended up meeting each other, and like it didn't work out well, and she got some STDs. Fable's fucked up, man.
I for some reason, my mind, like the chain of consequences in there is, she was fine until they met each other, and then they went out and got STDs to give to her. Like,
Right.
I'm gonna fuck this guy over. I'm gonna go get AIDS.
Like, did the
He's
game
got
developer be like,
a little potion bottle that the wizard in the fucking hut sold? He's like, oh, that's AIDS. I need 58 rupees. It's -3 arcanic magic. It'll fucking... The dexterity is just shot.
I liked in Fable, though, when you get too fat, you just eat a bunch of celery. I love that the workaround for, or the cure for being fat is to eat more.
Yeah.
I wish that worked
I've
in real
tried
life.
that. It don't work.
I would eat the shit out of some celery if it made me lose weight.
Yeah.
I do eat the shit out of celery, and I still don't lose weight, so... Fucking love celery.
I actually have all 3 of the Witcher games on Steam, and I've never fucking played any one of them.
2 might be good, but I can definitely say that 3 is one of the best RPGs I've ever played.
Cool.
I've been playing a little, probably going to catch a little flack, little Titanfall.
Oh, hey,
2.
I'm all into Titanfall 2. Why would you catch flack?
I know,
I don't know. I ain't played it. I don't know anything about it other than it's like robots.
There's not Brandon. There's a couple people I know that just fucking think I'm a piece of shit if I want to play a first-person shooter, period.
Oh,
So
is that...
Oh, no, first-person shooters.
Is that a gaming taboo? Like, if you like Call of Duty or something, you're just a piece of shit?
Yeah, everything goes back to Call of Duty. You're a piece of shit. Which, I mean, we've said that, too. Call of Duty is a atrocious game, but Titanfall, to me, isn't
I
Call of
fucking
Duty.
love it. I love
I enjoy
Titanfall 2.
it. Very fast-paced. Very...
Is it on PC?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Okay. Then that's where you fucked up. You got it on your Xbox.
No, I got it on the Xbox. He got it on the PS.
I got it on
Oh,
PS4.
same
PS4
thing.
too.
You get the PS box, whatever. Keyboard and mouse. That's where it's at for first person shooters.
It is. I was a straight up like PC gamer when it came to that stuff. I mean, those were first person
PC
shooters
sluts.
too. When I was playing Call of Duty 2 on PC, that was
Yeah.
like my first person shooter. I loved the Call of Duty 2. And not Modern Warfare 2. I'm talking like the old school Call of Duty. I fucking love that game. And I never thought I'd be a console first person shooter because everybody else was playing Halo back then.
Yeah.
And Halo was like revolutionizing first person shooter console stuff, and everybody was excited about Halo, and I was like, you guys don't know what you're missing. You got like Tribes and all of these great
Half-Life, all kinds of shit.
Yeah, on PC and you'll never get the accuracy out of a controller you're going to get on a mouse. But when you level the playing field and everybody's got a controller and you actually get kind of good with it, it's manageable. If it wouldn't, then no one would do it. But it's still fun.
I liken first-person shooters on the console to platformers on the smartphone. Yeah, you can do it, but fuck, it sucks.
It doesn't suck. It is fucking fun.
That's one thing
it sucks.
I can say about Titanfall 2. It controls fantastically well.
The aim assistant stuff is so subtle you don't know it's really doing it, but it's really doing a lot of work for you, and it makes it feel like you're playing. I don't know. I can't explain it. Yes, first-person shooters will always be best on PC, and I don't know why I got it on Xbox One. Maybe because I was excited to get all the achievements and shit onto my Xbox Live account. Because I got all of the Titanfall 1 achievements. I had to do it for 2 as well. So, I don't know, man. I like the multiplayer of Xbox Live. It makes me feel more connected with people.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I used to feel the same way about PC, but it's not easy to find a clan and shit on PC.
I wouldn't know as far as Titanfall is concerned. Never played it.
So,
Silence.
you've been playing Titanfall 2, huh?
Yeah. Between that and Bloodborne, those have been my two.
I wish I could play that, but that's an exclusive PlayStation game.
I still got to get my hands on it. My stepson has it. I don't even know if he's played it. Except anytime I go in his room, he's only playing like Battlefield 1.
It's so motherfucking... It's fun, but it is so difficult. I'm just not good at those Dark Soul.
Well, that's one thing about Hyper Light Drifter. It's very Dark Soulsy. Very, very difficult.
I'm real bad. I guess the same reason. Like, I'm not terrible at first-person shooters, but I have a bad problem. I'm like run and gun. So let's just bust up in there and fucking kill everybody.
Well, that's the thing about Titanfall is it's all about mobility. The running and the gunning is best in that game because you can wall run and like teleport and shit.
If you camp in that game, you will fucking die. Very quick.
Yeah, you got to stay moving.
Yeah, that's why my game on PC, TF2, is Team Fortress 2. If you stay still, you probably get fucked up. Some spies gonna come and fuck your shit up or something.
They made that for free after a while, and I downloaded it, but I am no good at that game. I don't know any of the levels
I used to be a
or
fucking
the classes.
amazing medic at it, but it's been a minute since I played it.
I like all the meme shit that comes out of that game, though, like the videos they make and stuff.
One of my favorite things, and we stole it from a YouTube video, is you can spray paint shit on walls in there, which is you take a picture and you can post it on the wall. So we'd post up pictures of like half-naked girls and shit, and people go stare at it and then kill them while they're staring at it.
Distraction.
Nice.
And our buddy Juice put up I think it's like Burt Reynolds from Playgirl, posing like he's like laying down all sexy like, this barely covering up his cock. And people stared at that more than anything else. I guess they were so confused by it.
Burt Reynolds.
I don't know what it is, but I can't look away.
And then they get killed.
His cock just has like a tractor beam that pulls their eyes.
Yeah.
It's the Reynolds. Well, I guess we can talk about our... You still got everything?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, good, because that's a major part of this.
You ever play Chrono Trigger?
No, I was a big Final Fantasy VI fan, and
Chrono Trigger it's really good.
Yeah. The music of it.
that is Nobuo
Music's
Uematsu.
probably one of my favorite things about it.
Both games, Final Fantasy VI and Chrono Trigger, I believe, have Nobuo Uematsu as their composer. So I love the music of Chrono Trigger.
This is all intro music here.
If I'm wrong about that, I'm going to feel really stupid.
I think it's the same guy.
It's the same three dudes from Final Fantasy. The music is one of the first things that just immediately stuck out to me. All this time of being a gamer and playing all this shit, and I've played Final Fantasy 2 and 3 or 4 and 6. Is that right?
I know 6. I don't know, but I didn't like 2, so I didn't.
I played them and all that, and
2 is too anime-ish.
I've never played Chrono Trigger.
I think Chrono
now.
Trigger is Square's greatest work. I really do.
Obviously, you've never played Final Fantasy VI.
Yeah. I really like. That's my favorite Final Fantasy.
And Chrono Trigger's better.
Yeah.
I really missed out on Chrono Trigger then.
It sucked me in pretty quick. Like it's.
I think the thing that offset me most about it, when I was a teen and I was hearing everybody was loving this game, I wanted to like it. I didn't have the money to go and get it or anything, but the multiple endings, it's like, do I want to see them all? How many times do I want to play this game?
So here's the thing: it's not like a huge difference between them. Like they just add a little bit more extra to it. If you beat it the first time, you pretty much get the true ending. Everything else is just how much do you like this game? How much do you want more? Do you want to see? Yeah. So
one thing it really appealed to me about this is I'm not the best RPG player in the world, and this is a little more easier to me than Final Fantasy games.
It's more intuitive because there's just not as much shit you have to deal with. You either attack or use spells or
you
items.
got basic ass items too, and there's no like the level up system's really easy and basic to pick up.
Yeah, there's no jobs or anything like that you got to deal with. You just Chrono's level 5 now.
At the very beginning of the game, you're able to decide if you want to do an active or if you want to go active or wait.
And you can change it any time while you're playing too.
Okay, well the first thing that we have to establish here is it Chrono Trigger or Chrono Trigger?
Chrono, as in chronology.
Whoa.
The character is Chrono, I would say, even though I say Chrono a lot. Because the character is spelled Chrono. I'll say Chrono Trigger because I don't say chronology, I say chronology. Or chronological, so it's Chrono Trigger.
So it's Chron, huh?
Yeah.
Trigger.
Hashtag triggered.
Chrono Triggered.
So what triggers
all
you
praise
about
be
Chrono Trigger is all positive praise.
Chromo.
Everything, because the story, like, it's not in depth, but it is a story that it's very like AAA movie-ish. It just keeps going. There's no low points to it. It's just a big epic adventure across time and space.
I totally missed out on this game. I got to play it.
I highly recommend it. It's amazing. Like with comparing it to Final Fantasy VI, I love FF6, but there's points in the game where you kind of just like bogged down, and the story's not really pacing as well as Chrono Trigger. It's just always going.
Yeah, but
it stays intense the whole way through.
Story. It's hard to keep that level going the whole time.
Yeah. I don't know. They got their ups and downs. I'm not trying to disparage 6. 6 is amazing. That's the closest thing to compare it to on the Super Nintendo. I like Earthbound better than this. It's always going to be my number one RPG, but Chrono Trigger is objectively a better game than that.
So it goes Earthbound, Chrono Trigger, and then 6?
Yeah, if I had to pick my order of favorites there, I would say 6. Final Fantasy 6 is still objectively better than Earthbound, but Earthbound's got the special place in my heart. It's my fan favorite. So,
Fangamer would agree with you. The people who handled the Bloodstained Kickstarter, Fangamer, they had Starman.net. I don't know if you ever... Yeah, they ran that. 3 of them got married, I think, thanks to that forum.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. And they got all sorts of great merchandise and stuff. So I've never played Earthbound. I played the original Zero a little bit, but the Super Nintendo one, I never really
Earthbound is an incredibly difficult motherfucking game to me.
Zero or the
Zero
Super
especially.
Zero's really... They're both incredibly difficult to me, but I watched Alex play Earthbound Zero, and...
Oh, Zero is rough unless you know where to grind.
Holy shit,
You got to know how to do your grinding in Zero, or you're going to be in for a rough ride.
You're going to have a bad time.
You're going to have a bad time. But yeah, Chrono Trigger.
The development team, before we get into the, like you were asking, consisted of Hironobu Sakaguchi, who created Final Fantasy.
Yeah, that guy owes me $5.
Yuji Horii and Akira Toriyama, who are 2 freelance designers known for their work on the Dragon Quest series. Nobuo Uematsu,
yeah.
He's the
guy.
composer for Final Fantasy.
Was he the only composer on that?
No.
Oh, okay. That's what I figured.
You have the Dragon Ball Z artist.
Kazuhiko Akoi produced the game. Masato Kato wrote most of the plot while composer Yasunori Mitsuda scored most of the game before falling ill and deferring remaining tracks to Uematsu.
Oh, okay, that's what I thought. I knew Uematsu was involved, and I can definitely hear his work in it, but some of the songs sound very different than his style. So that's why I was like doubting what it's saying that he did the same music.
Does it list
the
artists?
There's a lot of the same DNA there.
Because he's the Dragon Ball Z guy. That's why Chrono looks just like Goku, and Maro looks just like Volva or whatever from Dragon Ball Z.
Volva? Really?
Volva.
Her power level's over 9,000.
I think it's either one of the Yuji Horii or Akira Toriyama.
One of the Dragon Ball Z guys did the art for Chrono Trigger.
Yeah.
That lists them as the two artists.
Much as I hate Dragon Ball,
not big on Dragon Ball.
I did dig, this game though. So Chrono Trigger starts off with the game with the aptly named Chrono or Chrono. I'm gonna say Chrono because I can't remember to say Chrono.
And there's a frog, right?
There is a frog. He's amazing.
Monkey, fish, frog.
But you start off as Chrono, and your mother's waking you up, and it's like, it's time for the Millennial Fair. It's the year 1000 AD. This thing only comes around once every 1,000 years.
AD?
Yeah.
What does that stand for?
I don't know what it stands for in this game, because there's no Chrono Jesus in
after,
there.
After dude, they had a supreme deity. It was real doodly. He's just like, yeah, y'all be cool and smoke reefer and shit. He's like, I'm leaving this mortal plane now, and he died. And they're like, well, now we're just going to start calling everything AD. It stands for after dude.
So your mom wakes you up for school, and then what happens?
For the Millennial Fair.
Oh, okay.
After dude.
Yeah. I'm guessing the age of Chrono is like late teens. That was 17, 16, something like that.
Would have been perfect if I just would have played this when it came out.
Yeah.
That's kind of my consensus on it as well.
So, immediately you leave the house, and you go into the overworld map, and you can dick around on the overworld map some. You kind of see the kingdom of Guardia where Chrono lives. It's really just like a castle and a small hamlet. Not much there. But you go to this fair, and one of the coolest things about the start of this game is in the fair there's a shitload of little mini games you can play. And something I always liked in RPGs, always added more. I guess it made the RPG seem more alive because there's shit that your characters can do in the game rather than just going from fight to fight. Like in the Millennial Fair, everything in there runs off these things called silver points, and shit you do can earn you these silver points. Like there's these racers, costumed racers running around in the first map, and you can place bets on them to get silver points. There's like a strongman bell, and you can time. It's just a timing game where you can win points.
There's a chugging competition or something.
There's a soda drinking contest. It's extraordinarily hard without a turbo controller. Because it's pressing one button repeatedly. If it was two buttons, I'd have no problem.
Is that you chugging?
Chugging soda.
Yeah.
Oh, soda.
Yeah.
Sure.
You drink some of the booze later in the game, but this is very. It says soda.
This is called the diabetic challenge.
Practice on chugging soda so that when you grow up, you can be a good beer chugger.
Yeah. When you're negative 64 million some odd years old, you can chug booze. Yeah, we'll get to that. Time fuckery is aloof.
Dun dun dun.
Also in this game, in this first area of the fair, is a little like haunted house type deal with 3 mini games in it, and one of the mini games plays a huge role later in the game. You can go ahead and knock it out now, or you can come back any other time to do it. But
so shit you do affects the end game.
That is the ripple of time.
And it affects other things throughout the game. One thing here is there's all kinds of minute choices that affect you somewhat in the middle of the game. The main thing you should know here is people are watching your character. If you're eating other people's food, if that kind of shit, if you're not rescuing...
Who does that shit? Who eats other people's food?
There are fucking dicks out there that do that.
Yeah,
I've never had anybody eat my food.
Well, you've never been in a video game.
They would do it one motherfucking time, I tell you that.
See, in a video game, this motherfucker in this green costume busts up in your house, break all your pottery, take all your gems. And he's a hero.
Then he consumes your fucking girlfriend's heart.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well,
that took a dark turn.
He's a son of a bitch, man.
But yeah,
He's got a shadow version that's even a bigger dick than he is.
in the first area, that's pretty much all there is. There's a merchant there. You can buy shit from. You can exchange those silver points for gold and buy shit there. So you can buy yourself some starter equipment. I don't recommend it because you find it so soon you're just wasting money.
I think it's like 10 silver points for 50 gold.
Something like that. And if you want to buy something, I recommend buying tonics, which are potions. You heal yourself like 50 hit points or some shit. Really handy starting off.
Really cheap too. At no point I had fewer than like 25 on hand at all times.
Always knocked out the 3 little mini games in the haunted house. One of them, the main important one, is I'll just explain the little haunted house thing. You go in there and there's this like little floating head with 2 hands, and it floats around and kind of taunts you and explains what the game you're playing. And the important one is one where a clone of Chrono comes down and he starts doing these little emotes. And you use the buttons L and R on the Super Nintendo, and I think like A and B to cycle between them. Like L raises his left hand, R raises his right hand, and A and B cycles between laughing and being surprised. And the little clone starts doing that faster and faster, and you got to match them every time. So it's slightly difficult to keep up with.
Now, in the future, do you have to go back and play your younger self to match yourself, or what?
No. In the future, it's been so long since I didn't get it at the start of the game. I can't remember how it happens in the future. Because when you go to get it in the future, you don't have Chrono in your team anymore. I think you can just straight out buy it for like 10,000 gold or something like that. But that's a chunk of change right there.
So in his world, in 1000 AD, is there frog people running around already? Or
No,
we'll
not
get
yet.
to that.
do they evolve in a separate timeline?
No, it's very much a like magical curse thing. Very,
Okay.
yeah, very like old school fantasy.
So this isn't
type
a
thing.
world of frog people. This is just
No.
normal humans doing their
There
affairs.
is technically dinosaur people, but you don't see them for a very long time. But yeah, after you go through this first area, there's 3 main areas to this fair. You go to the second map, which is due north, and you immediately run into this young girl. And I say young, she's the same age as you. And you like run into each other. You both fall down.
Child porn.
Yeah,
Yeah.
more child porn.
Yep.
I guess if she's 16, I guess it's still child porn. So whatever.
She's legal age consent.
Yeah, there's grass on the field. Play ball.
If there's not, play in the mud.
That's great.
You'll learn that a lot in prison.
Yeah, you run into each other's. You see this little shiny thing fly off of her. It's her pendant. I recommend checking on her first. Again, people are watching for your character. If you go pick up jewelry before you check on this girl, it's going to come back and bite you in the ass in a very mild way. But I always try to play as goody two-shoes as I can because it gives you the option of changing a little bit in the game.
So this reinforces the idea that there's an all-seeing eye that's watching your every move and judging you?
Eyes. People are going to be witnessing what you do, and they're going to be called forth to talk about it eventually.
There's a bunch of snitches that live around this motherfucking place. Like,
in the same area, there's a girl who lost her cat. You can go get her cat and bring it to her. There's an old man's lunch laying around who completely heals you. You want to avoid that if you want to be Mr. Goody Two Shoes because you're eating an old man's lunch, and that's a dick move.
Don't eat other people's food.
It is handy because if you go to the left side, there's this giant pink robot there named Gato. He like sings, and all his moves are based off like singing, and he has like a little punching glove in his stomach that comes out and punches your ass a few times. But it's your first like introduction to the battle system here, and I always battle him over and over until I level up a few times. It makes the start of the game a lot easier. And since it's positioned right beside that old man's lunch, it's really easy and convenient to go eat the lunch, go back and fight him, come back, eat the lunch, go and fight him. Because the lunch always respawns. But if you want to be Mr. Goody Two-Shoes...
If the lunch always respawns, the old man can eat it himself.
Well, you're still a dick, though. You're still a dick for eating it. That's just the way it is.
his lunch may respawn, but his goodwill never will again.
Yeah.
So, like...
Yeah, I mean, someone eats my free lunch, even if there's another one out there coming to me, I'm still going to be pissed someone ate my free lunch.
Yeah,
That's my fucking free lunch. I don't care if I'm going to get one as soon as you come back on the screen.
You got a free lunch, now you're about to get a free fucking ass kicking.
Well, I'm glad that this game could at least teach us not to eat other people's food. So.
Yeah, even if it's infinitely responsible.
Hey, if nothing else, like...
See, video games can be educational, Mom and Dad.
Yeah.
The robot, Gato, should be noted, he is created by one of the other characters you meet. Luca. At the Millennial Fair. He kind of, her and her father inadvertently kind of calls you to get in the big shitstorm that is this game.
I guess I don't ever explain it. The girl you ran into, her name is Marl. She joins up with you. She's your first party member. She follows you around. You can fight
Marl.
Yep, you can fight Gato with her, and one of the Haunted Mansion mini games, she's actually being lowered over into a flame, and you got to juggle a bunch of different things around while keeping her out of the fire.
Who knew juggling would actually be a skill that someone's life depended on?
Well, I say juggle around. I don't mean literally juggling.
Oh, okay.
There's like a bunch of monsters coming at you, and you got to use these little interactable devices to push them back, while at the same time turning her lever up to keep her from going on fire. This sounds very
complicated. How did she get there? What?
That was a volunteer thing. Like it's just a game.
Okay.
She's like, yeah, let's do it. It'll be fun. It's a fair game.
She volunteered for this. I see.
Yeah. Anyways, she joins you. If you go due north of the second area, you'll see your childhood friend Luca and her father. They got these these pods set up that looks very much like the Fly. Teleportation pods.
Yeah. Stay away from those.
Yeah. Well, Marl doesn't. Luca's like, hey, no one wants to try this out. You got that beautiful girl with you. How won't we get her to try? And after she does it, other people will do it. So, like, yeah, sure. What can go wrong?
I just wish Jeff Goldblum would be there on set. Marl is about to set this time machine. Poof.
Well, it was a time machine at the time.
Well, yeah.
It was a teleportation device.
I hope this game doesn't end with someone asking for their, putting a shotgun in their mouth and saying, pull the trigger, I need to die.
I like The Fly for the same reason I like Kick-Ass. Any movie that ends with Jeff Goldblum begging to have his head blown off, A+ in my book.
Jeff Goldblum wasn't in Kick-Ass. That's...
Now, no, but I'm saying same reason. Nicolas Cage got set on fire.
Hate Nicolas Cage.
Even better, Nicolas Cage got lit on fucking fire in that movie.
Didn't he get bees poured in his face?
Yeah, in The Wicker Man.
I fucking hate Nicolas Cage.
I do too.
Yeah.
The only movie that I like that he's in really is Leaving Las Vegas, and it's still amazing because you get to see Nicolas Cage jerk himself to death. Nothing says sheer...
That's very apropos.
Nothing
I just earned $5 billion and I'm broke.
Nothing puts a smile on my face than seeing a very gaunt Nicolas Cage whose liver explodes at speed a lot while he's talking to Elizabeth Shue. I'm like, wow.
So the game doesn't end up with a shotgun in the mouth. These aren't teleportation pods. What are they?
Well, they are teleportation pods, but Marl gets in there, and that ill-fated necklace he picked up and gave back to her starts to react with the
anal beads start reacting.
And this blue gate opens up and sucks her into it, leaving her pendant behind. And everyone's like, oh my god, what the shit? And of course, you're the young hero. Chrono's like, fuck it, I'm going to get this necklace and go after you. So you pick up the necklace. Luca's like, hey, I'll figure out a way to come after you. So you put on the necklace, and she sends you through the teleportation device, opens up the warp gate, and you go back in time. You go back in time to the year 600 AD, 400 years in the past. And here... There's no sign of Luca, but no sign of Marl. You go out of this area and you go to Guardia Castle. It's the only place you really can go after you check all the houses here. And in Guardia Castle, you've come across Marl. They've mistaken her for the queen at the time. They think she is Queen Lean, I want to say.
Queen Lean.
Yeah, it is Queen Lean. And shortly after talking to her, she fucking vanishes in front of you. You talking to her, she's like, yeah, this is cool. They think I'm the queen here, blah, blah, blah. And then she's like, oh, I feel like I'm getting ripped apart. And she turns into like 4 or 5 pieces of light and just gets torn apart.
Oh, that's terrifying.
And then your buddy Luca comes up and she's like, hey, yeah, about Marl. She's not just like any random girl. That's actually Princess Nadia. Which is the princess of the current year 1000 AD Kingdom of Guardia. And like they
wait, and you're the only one that volunteered to like grab the pendant and go in, and she's a queen?
Nobody knows this.
But
Yeah.
Luca.
She's not a
Well,
queen.
Luca didn't know at the time either. She figured it out. She came back. She invented this little device called the gate key, so you don't have to have that necklace anymore. She can manipulate the gates with that little key. But she's like, she's related to.
So she's like the Doc Brown of the story.
Yeah, she is.
Yeah.
Okay.
She's like, yes, that was actually Princess Nadia. She looks just like her, great grandmother or whatever. So that's why they mistook her. But the reason why she disappeared is because Queen Lene was kidnapped in this time, and because they thought they found her, they didn't find her, and therefore, since Queen Lene was never found, she couldn't have had children. Therefore, Princess Nadia does not exist.
Okay, you said way too much shit way too quick. But basically what you're saying is that one of my ancestors looks like my poor ass and has the same bald spot.
Instead of Mike McDaniel, there was a Daniel McDaniel somewhere.
But there's so much DNA that gets added afterwards. You're probably going to look different. No, okay. So she looks the same as her
great
ancestor.
Her ancestor.
And her ancestor went where?
Her ancestor was kidnapped at this time in history.
Okay.
And because they thought that they found her, when in fact they found Princess Nadia, they didn't go looking for the real queen. And because they didn't find the real queen couldn't have kids, so Princess Nadia ceased to be. That's why she stopped being. That's why she just disappeared.
That was the end of her shit right then.
Yeah. So she's like, well, we can fix this if we can just go find the queen.
Paradox.
Yeah. They do a good job in this game with handling paradoxes.
It doesn't confuse you at all, really.
Yeah, if you're playing the game, it'll make more sense.
She said, I feel like I'm being ripped apart, and then she gets ripped apart. That's fucked up.
She said the same thing that a lot of college girls at Tuscaloosa say.
Yeah.
I've been to college, I
old
know.
DP and the V.
Yeah. Oh, DVDA.
Oh, yeah. Got to get a special saddle for that thing.
Yep.
But yeah, you go off on this quest to find the real Queen Lene. So maybe Princess Nadia comes back because you sent into of course the right events of time. So on the way, I don't remember where, but you come across Frog here, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, you. I don't remember exactly where you found him, but
Frog is in.
Wait, the frog's name's Frog?
His name is Frog.
He's in the castle.
That's I think so.
Right?
Nah, I don't know. I don't recall. But you come across him, and he's like, "Yeah, I'll help you. I'm just a humanoid frog. Nothing weird to see here.
I'm just a frog.
Don't question my motives."
At this point in the game, though, Frog's a pretty badass character. And he's got one of my favorite soundtracks in the game. He's got one of my favorite theme musics here.
Let's hear it.
Very imperialistic, I don't want to say. Just, old school. I'm a fucking knight and I'm going to fuck your shit up. Frog
appears in the cathedral.
The cathedral, that's
you
right.
go to.
The cathedral is where you eventually find that the queen is kidnapped at. It's a place outside the castle. You go through there, there's a bunch of kind of generic fantasy enemies here. Naga women, half snake, half women.
Those are the best kind of women.
They are. And then straight up giant snake guys. You find out that was it the current chancellor at the time who's disguised as this, or is this giant monster disguised as the chancellor?
Yeah.
You whoop his ass, you rescue the queen, and you find the real chancellor stuck in a chest.
That's
the real
where
chancellor
I keep my
is
prisoners.
dude.
That's where I keep my prisoners.
Yeah.
The real chancellor, might we add, is a fucking dick.
Well, at least the 1000 AD real chancellor is.
Oh, yeah. God damn it.
Yeah, see? Time fuckery. It's aloof.
This is why we're having to re-record the same fucking episode we recorded a week ago.
Yeah.
Paradox.
You rescue Queen Lean, you go back to the castle, and then all of a sudden Princess Nadia just reappears. The beams of light that took her apart come back, they converge. Princess Nadia is again. She's like, "Hey guys, that was like the most horrible thing I've ever felt. That must be what death feels like. It sucks.
Oh God!
I recommend not dying.
Please promise you, I'm going to try to do that."
And
getting ripped apart sucks.
And Frog was like, "Hey bros, it was good, but this is my time. Y'all go and do your thing." So Frog leaves. Princess Nadia comes back, and you go back to 1000 AD. Or do you?
All right, back to normal.
Yeah, you
time.
go back
Game
to 1000
over.
AD.
Good job. You got her back to the fair.
You think so,
Go
but
to the haunted house.
you go to the 1000 AD and you take her home to the castle, and then like, "Arr, you kidnapped the princess. Sucks to be you. You're going to jail."
But she can say
she
that
asked
didn't
you
happen.
to. She asked you to take her home.
Yeah,
and you take her home, and that's when the real Chancellor appears and shows his true dickage.
yeah. He's like, "Yeah, you're going to trial. You kidnapped the princess. Gonna suck to be you." And this is where what you did at the fair comes into play at, because he starts calling in character witnesses. And if you brought the little girl's cat back to her, one of the witnesses comes up and she's like, the little girl comes up and says, "Yeah, he was nice. He brought me my cat. Hey, that was real nice, blah, blah, blah." That he stole the old man's lunch. He comes up, "That little bastard ate my lunch." If you don't check...
This is not how court works, damn it. It's not a character investigation.
What?
It's evidence against the shit that you did or did not do.
This is their medieval times. In medieval times, it was 100% character.
I'm pretty sure this isn't on Earth.
Well, it says it's Earth. So.
Oh, does it?
Yeah, they call it Earth.
Oh, well.
There's no way it's an alternate timeline or anything.
So frog people existed in 1000
And
AD.
dinosaur people.
No, in 600 AD.
Yeah.
After dude.
After
Yeah.
dude. Or something in Latin. that no
Not
one
Jesus,
understands.
not that dude, some other dude.
So yeah, you get all these character witnesses for you. If your good shit outweighs your bad, basically, the jury rules not guilty. However, they're like, "Well, you still endangered the princess's life, so 3 days in jail." I'm like, "Oh fuck!" So it's the same
it's just
outcome.
3 days.
It's the same outcome either way. Because if you was guilty, I think it's either life in jail or execution, one of the two.
You get execution regardless.
Yeah, I was gonna say, once you go to jail, the chancellor's like, "Hey,
Wait a minute. I thought it was. How do we go from 3 days in jail if you're guilty to execution?
I'll
This
explain
guy is on Trump's cabinet.
Yeah.
Like,
Hey, he
don't give no fuck.
he escorts you to jail, and he's like, "Yeah, get ready for execution." And they're like, "Hey, we didn't hear anything about that." It's like, "I'm the chancellor. I said he's going to get executed." Like, "Okay, I'm just making minimum wage as a guard here. Whatever. I'm just doing my job."
I'm a peon.
So you get thrown in the cell, and of course you escape. Does Luca? Yeah, Luca runs into you before you get out of the jail tower. So Luca comes and finds you, and on your way out of the tower, you have your first or your second real. I'd say it's your first real boss battle. The big chancellor guy in 600 AD, he was like a beginner boss type thing. This guy is actually kind of difficult. It's this big dragon tank thing that they conveniently bring on a bridge.
You actually find a document before you fight this.
It tells you its weaknesses.
You find a document of this thing that's talking about how.
I'll be damned, it is a dragon tank.
In order to kill the dragon tank, you've got to slay the head before you can kill the body. So
yeah, it's got 3 parts on it that
Good
you can
to
target:
know.
the head, the wheels, and the body.
Now, I'm just saying, in Final Fantasy VI, when you fight the Snell Esper at the beginning, you got to attack at certain times. You got to figure that shit out.
You
and it's
attack
right
a
at the
shell
beginning.
when it's charging, it'll fucking spray your ass with that lightning.
Yeah.
What a bastard
It's just
smell.
a better game. Just thought I'd throw that. No, I'm just kidding. Back to Chrono Trigger.
Use Morton's salt attack on Snell. Fuck that goddamn Snell.
I've never played Chrono Trigger. You play both games, so I have to trust your word on this.
Well, it's ultimately preference.
It's nostalgia for me.
For me, Chrono Trigger is much more streamlined. Final Fantasy 7 or 6, from a pure RPG nerd aspect, it's a lot more in depth to it. It's a lot more difficult of a game.
Well, I hate when I try to recommend one of my favorite games of all time, Final Fantasy VI, to somebody and know that it just does not hold up to the expectations gamers have these days of what an RPG could be. You know, it's like, oh, you just played Witcher 3 and you think that's a great game? Here, play this game that is near and dear to my heart. And you know that they won't enjoy it like you enjoyed it as a teenager.
Yeah.
So when it comes to Chrono Trigger, how do you think it holds up now versus when you're a kid? Is it very nostalgia heavy, or
it's hard for me to say. I will say that it's one of the few RPGs I've played on my TV that my kids paid some attention to. So I think that kind of says a lot.
I can look at it from the reverse way in on this. I am a super huge Super Nintendo fan. But this is one Super Nintendo game I literally never played when
Same
I was younger.
here, yeah.
I never played this at all until Brandon... I knew what... of course I knew what it is, but never played it until Brandon was like, hey, we should play this, and did an episode on it. And then I started playing it, and looking in, like, from the opposite end, like, never have played it before, it made me... Like immediately, like I said earlier, the music's one of my favorite things about the game. The game itself is great. I enjoy that. But the music's one thing, like, it immediately made me have that nostalgic feeling for, like, Super Nintendo.
Yeah.
Again. So, that factor alone, because just not any fucking game you buy and pop in your Super Nintendo can do that for you. And that's one it did.
And I think one of the biggest things is the AAA movie style pacing of this game. And there's always something around the corner. You just can't wait.
It's a very intense pace.
Yeah. Like there's just always something that you want to stick around and play a little more to figure out. Like because the information revealed to you about the story it's not this.
It's a very steady release of information.
Yeah, and you learn wrong information because you learn it through the eyes of people who don't know the whole story. So
there's a lot of kind of like purposeful misdirect.
Yeah.
In this game, like sleight of hand shit. Like, pay attention to this over here, and you're not going to notice this. It
sounds like they really tell you the story the way they want you to absorb it.
Yeah, they tell it in a way that they expect that your characters would be seeing the story.
Yeah.
So they don't tell it to you as if you're some guy controlling these characters. They tell it to you as if you're the characters. And the pacing of it, though, is so great. There's no, like I said, there's no down moments of it where you're just kind of trying to figure out what to do next, and you're not really sure where the story's going. There's always a direction the story's heading, even if it's not the ultimate end of it. The story's always heading somewhere. I can't say enough about how great that is. I mean, it would probably convert over to a really awesome anime if they, didn't do any fuckery with it.
If J.J. Abrams got a hold of it, it could convert over to a very good movie.
Yeah, nothing but fucking flare lenses and.
It's so complex. It's so cool.
But anyways, you break out of there.
Then he'd flip it to where Spock's not the one in the radiation chamber, and yeah. I don't know a Chrono Trigger analogy because I haven't played it.
Yeah. But anyways, you break out of jail, and Princess Nadia's we still call her Marl, though. That was her undercover name.
Marl Dixon.
Yep. She joins you back, and the castle guards are chasing you out. I mean, they're just a bunch of big fucking dicks chasing you out the castle. And they kind of block you in the guarded forest, and your only path is to go in this gate. This time gate that you have no clue where it leads to. So, Luke busts out the gate key, and she's like, all right, guys, fuck it. Let's go in. You escape in the gate just as soon as the guards come after you. Very Back to the Future-ish in that way.
Run at 88 miles per hour.
Yeah, and you end up in a post-apocalyptic hellhole.
Blade Runner-esque.
Yeah.
But not as fancy as Blade Runner. More like Mad Max, I guess.
Yeah. You end up in this very futuristic. They call them domes, but they're just
Thunderdome
futuristic buildings.
Dystopian society.
Is Tina Turner there?
I think very soon after you go into, and it's the year 2300 AD, so it is 1300 years after the present. I
love that Brandon remembers the years of this in the game. That's just they keep it nice and like round numbers.
Yeah,
like you go up in multiples of 10 and shit. That's
there's I think 5 main eras. Let's see. There's 1000 AD, 600 AD, 2300 AD, 65 million BC, 12,000 BC, 1999 AD, and then the end of time.
I just realized this podcast is going to go a long time if you're going to explain all that jumping around.
It's a long game. And we're just only going to graze over everything the best I can. Piss break?
Piss break.
I could use a piss break.
We're back from piss break.
Yay!
Back in Chrono Trigger.
So anyways, I think where we left off, we just got to the future. It's post-apocalyptic.
The world of future. Today.
Yeah, 2300 AD. Shortly after arriving, you find a computer that relays the events of why the apocalypse happened. This is when you first hear the theme of the main bad guy in the game.
Square villain music always sticks out.
Yeah.
Big time. And if they got a fucking timpani playing, you know shit's about to get real.
That's definitely a Nobuo Matsu trick.
But yeah, the computer plays back the year 1999, the year of Lavos. And it shows like the overworld map. Everything's futuristic and nice looking. And then this big spiky looking monstrosity bursts out of the earth, out of a huge crevice in the earth, and rains down hellfire upon the planet, destroying everything. And I'm trying to think of exactly what happened. You leave that dome and you come across, there's 2 different like human domes with humans living in them.
It's very Blade, like I said earlier, Blade Runner. It's like
everyone's
very run down, decrepit.
And here's the thing: is like the future, they have these magnificent little devices that automatically
the Enertron.
Yeah, Enertrons.
But you're still hungry.
Yeah, that's how these people are living. They don't have any food or anything, but they have these Enertrons that basically give you a night's rest and nutrition. So
they replenish your energy, essentially.
They're living off that, but they can't eat, so they're still hungry. They're starving, even though they're alive and well. So that alone has got them in supreme depression. Because imagine being desperately starving your whole life. That would fucking suck. And also, I can't remember exactly the turn of events. I'm going to gloss over a lot of it because it's really inconsequential to the overall story, but you come across a seed, like one of the last remaining seeds on the planet, and you give it to these people, and they vow to start trying to live finally instead of just huddling around as
wasting
hobos.
Away.
The future has a lot of new enemies, a bunch of these slime things that are very hard to hurt with physical attacks. A lot of mutants and that type of thing. It's got one of the coolest mini games in here where it has this almost F-Zero-ish race where you got to race this mutant who has wheels for legs.
It's honestly like a blend. It's like you said, like F-Zero, but it's kind of like a precursor to of the Final Fantasy VII bike race.
Yeah. It's and anytime you cross this section of the map, you got to race this guy.
He's a fucking jerk
Is his
off.
name Wheels?
No, it's something.
He looks like a shitty
biker name.
If there was a fucking Autobot that modeled itself after Elvis.
It kind of reminds me of Biker Mice from Mars.
Yeah? Wow. Wow. Digging for the old school reference there. Yeah.
Okay.
Except instead of biker mice, they just like melded them together.
It's like
just biker meth.
Radioactive biker mice from Lab 32.
What are we going to do tonight, Pinky? We're going to race.
Our bodies have melded together like John Carpenter's The Thing. We're a horrible monstrosity, but we're hell on wheels.
But yeah, it's a straightforward race. There's no like weapons or anything. You got 3 boosts, and really you just need one because the other 2 ain't
Wait
gonna do
till
no
the
good.
very end.
Because the guy on the bike, same fucking speed as you are, and you both kind of oscillate back and forth for the lead, and he always tries to get in front of you and block your path from getting around him. So basically, you just keep him out from in front of you and wait till you get right at the finish line, hit your boost, you get in front of him, and you win.
Dale Earnhardt the shit out of
Yeah.
him.
You just right in the wall, man.
Never forget.
I almost forgot to never forget. So, anyways, you come across your next party member after this. You go in this factory, and there's this broken down robot. And Luca's like, "Hey, I'm a science person. I can do something."
So
with
Luca's
this."
still with you?
Yeah, Luca's with you in the future. Frog's not with you. So you got Frog. I mean, you got Chrono, Luca, and Marl. Y'all are all in the future. And you come across this factory with this broke down robot. Luca's like, yeah, this is some pretty cool science here. I'm going to science it up a little bit more, though.
I'm going to science the shit out of this.
Yes.
And
You
she
damn
revives
right.
this robot.
Who has the most clever name for a robot?
Yeah, he says, my name is R66-Y. And she's like, we got to have a better name than that. And
K8SO?
No.
Oh, okay.
Even better.
You get to name it. You can name any of the characters in this game. Always go with the default, and then you name it Robo. So Robo the robot, and he's also got some great theme song to him. It's very, very like 90s. Try to think of another song this sounds.
There's
like.
a couple actually.
Yeah.
Anything coming to mind yet?
Can I get a hint?
Here's your hint right here.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
These are both songs mixed together.
No, that's not yet.
Oh,
This is the normal one.
You just
Everyone's
rickrolled your entire audience.
everybody
Yeah.
knows. You have just been rickrolled for the first time in 2017, hopefully. From the good old gamers.
I'll play the. This is one that someone on YouTube they overlaid them on top of each other.
We're no strangers to love, and some do
This is the only time we can bring you a rickroll and a video game reference at the same time.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
I love the chorus, the way it mixes together.
It's so cohesive.
Never gonna let you down. Never gonna run around and desert you. Never gonna make you cry. Never gonna say goodbye. Never gonna say
And it's funny because that song also references another 80s song. Play Robo's theme one more time, just the beginning of it. You'll enjoy this because I spotted this one.
Wait. It does sound familiar now. That drum kick in the beginning.
Yes, exactly.
Just play me a second of what you're talking about. Just the first note. Oh, it drives me crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We're
UB40.
We were listening to it, and I was like,
No.
it's Fine Young Cannibals.
Oh, yeah, okay. But, there, I swear to God, there is a Depeche Mode song that reminds me of, though.
That's all you'll ever hear of that shit on here.
What's this Depeche Mode song? Let me take you on a trip down around the world and back. You don't need a whatever to get there. It's about fucking heroin. What is that song?
Every Depeche Mode song?
Basically.
The only Depeche Mode song I know is the one popular in the Had. I don't even remember it.
Fucking pause it. We're getting this shit figured out. Depeche Mode song. I'm wrong about Depeche Mode, but it rickrolls very well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Robo Roll. I love it.
That it does.
Anywho.
I might have to robo roll some people.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
If you just YouTube that term, Robo Roll, you'll find it. It's,
okay.
It's very well known among Chrono Trigger fans.
I wonder if it triggers them.
Triggers the fuck out of me. Triggers an erection.
God, so you got some feelings about this game.
Fuck yeah, I do. Triggers me just like when I get in the shower every morning. Hear that water hit the floor. No, it's time to beat my meat.
Okay.
That's how I know I'm home.
Uncle Dan told me not to jack off in the shower because you get a boner every time it rains. Okay, anyway.
Just imagine somebody living with this logic, and then one day,
Well, that's Pavlov's dog
with
responding,
that-
right?
I just imagine him turn into an old ass man and fucking catching hard on, and then it's like in the middle of a drought.
It's about to rain.
Hey, it's just like that dial-up modem sound. You know, when you're a teenager, you
Yeah.
go to log on, you want to look at some porn. Now every time I hear a dial-up modem, I get hard.
Yeah.
It's Pavlov's response.
It's only gonna take me 25 minutes to jerk off this JPEG.
It loads from the top down.
Oh,
When
fuck,
it gets
it's a
down
gift.
far
This
enough,
is never going to download.
she's got a penis. Oh, shit. I jacked off to half of that.
I can't take it back. It's so hard.
Can't put the shit back on that horse.
I might as well finish it off. No.
Too late now.
Okay, Chrono Trigger. Chrono Trigger.
Chrono Triggered.
Yes, anyways, you fix Robo and you go through a minor dungeon. When I say dungeon, it's a factory. And you find another gateway. And, of course, you're like, well, we don't know where the fuck this goes, but YOLO, we got much choice. So you jump in the gateway. And you go to the end of time. You just get dropped off on this platform in the middle of nothingness where there is an old man who's sleeping. And just there's a door going upwards and then the stairs going off into nothingness here.
Is that a metaphor?
No. The end of time of music, I really like it too. It's very relaxing, I guess you could say. The way it all starts layering together here, it's really cool.
Tonight on Hearts of Space. Ambient tunes from Sector 9 to ease your transition into loneliness.
Those Super Nintendo synths, I just love them. I listen to video game music in my spare time. I know that's extremely nerdy, but
I do every now
I
and then.
fucking love that sound.
The SimCity soundtrack on SNES is still to this day one of my favorites. And it's very basic.
But here and then to time, there's nothing here pretty much. There's a platform, the old man, you talk to the old man. I can't remember exactly what he tells you. I think he says...
Doesn't he tell you? He tells you
He
need
gives
to
you a
go
hint
into the
where you
room behind you
Yeah, he does say to go in the room behind
before
you.
you leave.
The room behind you is the...
Specchio.
Specchio. He is the Lord of War. Specchio is the guy who teaches everyone in your party magic. And anytime you get a new party member and you bring him in there, he says, oh, that guy knows water magic, and he teaches them water. When you first go in there, you got to do this little mini game where you got to like run around the room clockwise 3 times without not touching the walls.
Aggravating as fuck.
It is aggravating because it's like against one of the walls is a door. So if you're pressing against the wall, you go out the door. But you got to do that 3 times, and he's like, "Okay, I'll teach you magic now because I'm like a super cool Lord of War. You know, that's what I do."
Shouldn't he be a Lord of Magic? I think Lord of War would teach you like sword techniques or something.
The time he's from, I guess it makes sense.
This guy looks like a mixture between Kirby and a fucking jackrabbit. He's like Kirby with longer ears.
Yeah, but the thing
like
is,
Yeah?
I think to me it looks more like a Mankey because those are actually like arms that you're talking about.
That's a Pokemon, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a Pokemon.
I thought he had arms and ears.
I don't know. I can't remember. But he changes forms based on your level. So the more powerful you are, the scarier he looks. So he starts off looking all sweet and stuff. But when you get around level 40, he looks like this giant badass.
Evolution 3, man.
Yeah.
I don't know what a Mankey involves into, but...
I don't know. It's Spanky.
Michael Vick.
But
it's learn dogfighting.
He teaches you magic, so you want to bring all your characters there. He points out that Robo can't learn magic because he's not a living being.
He has no soul.
But he's like, but his technology mimics shadow magic, so he doesn't know magic, but he kind of does.
Oh, that makes sense.
So and he's a really tough fight. At the beginning, he's not that bad, but as you level up, he gets way tougher. But it's worth beating him once in every transformation because he gives you some good shit. It's always some tablets that you can use to level up your stats permanently. So I recommend beating him once at every transformation. So every time you go to the end of time, just check with him. If he's changed form, beat his ass. Get what you got to get. You only get it from him one time. So also in here in the end of time is a mysterious bucket. The old man's like, "Hey, you might not want to do anything with that bucket over there. It's bad news." And if you really like press it and go in the bucket, you go straight to the end of the fucking game where you fight Lavos. And you fucking die at this point, so don't go in the bucket.
It's the walrus's bucket. Don't touch it.
That's one of the ways you get multiple endings on the game. Is not so much what you do in between, but when you decide to defeat Lavos. Like if you could go in there and beat his ass, you'd get a slightly different ending than...
Why a bucket?
I don't know. Why any of this in the end of time? It's just like an old school looking
bucket in the end of time.
Cobblestone street with a street lamp in it and an old man sleeping. It's neat though. It's just all this is out in a fucking void.
It's kind of like what you wouldn't expect from the end of time.
And also, there's another platform on the left where you came from that has these pillars of light. Each pillar of light represents a time gateway that you've been through, so you can go through any of the gateways you've been through there.
Kind of works like the central hub.
So you can visit parts of the... Like, you can go back and do the haunted house stuff, or...
Yeah. So this is where your first main method of traveling through time comes from. You can start choosing where you want to go. I don't remember why you got to go to 1000 AD, though. I don't remember how you figure it out. But you figure out that a entity named Magus created Lavos, so you want to go back in time to defeat him so he doesn't finish creating Lavos. So you know that Guardia had a war with Magus in 600 AD. How convenient. So you got to go and do that. I also don't remember how you know you got to get the mass immune. Do you, Lyle? Who tells you need the mass immune? Is it the old man? In the end of time? I guess it don't really...
I think so, or...
It don't really matter. You find out through some source. You gotta...
You find out the stuff about...
I think you find out that Magus has to be defeated with the mass immune.
You find that out from... isn't it the cult members?
Yes. When you go back to 1000 AD,
there's
this town of monsters, and they're all worshiping the statue of Magus, and... they're talking about how Magus created Lavos, and that's how you find out that. And I think you found out secondhand there too that it's the mass immune that was his weakness or whatever. It's a the mass immune in Square games is always a legendary sword.
It's essentially the master sword in the Square universe.
Oh, it's a sword?
Yeah, the mass immune. It was Sephiroth's sword in FF7. And most of the Final Fantasies, it's one of the top tier swords.
I've just always said it differently, but I don't know what you're talking about.
And I'm sure I'm saying it very redneck, but I've always called it the mass immune.
That's that fucking mass immune sword right there.
Well, especially in this game, it breaks it up. When you find the Masamune in I think the Dendario caves, it's actually a Sora made of two entities. It's called Massa and Mune. They're two little like monster guys that you got to fight, and then they combine together to make one giant monster guy, and you got to fight him. And you prove yourself to them, and they turn into the broken sword of the Masamune, which you got to get repaired.
Breaking it into two, I could definitely see how you'd pronounce it that way.
Yeah.
I've just always said Masume because that sounds more Japanese.
That's probably right. I've always said Masamune because
mass. And how would you pronounce the second part? If it was Masume, what is it be that ume? Well, you couldn't do it if you broke it into two parts. Yeah. Right. So it wouldn't make sense in text translated to English.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could see how you'd say it that way.
Masamune. So you get the broken Masamune, and you find out, I don't remember how, that you gotta have pretty much a master smith to forge it again. And you just so happen you talk to a master smith at the Millennial Fair named Melkor. So you go back to 1000 AD, bring him the sword, and he's like, holy shit, I don't know how you came across this, but this is badass. I can fix it, but not without this thing called Dreamstone. And unfortunately for you, Dreamstone is not around anymore. You'd have to go like practically back to the beginning of time to get it.
So this is where we go to Dinosaur World.
Yeah, you're like, oh yeah, it's back to the beginning of time. I can do that.
Gotta go back in time.
Yeah,
Huey Lewis. There we go.
So you go to 65 million BC. I don't know if I brought the music for that. It's really prehistoric, like caveman sounding. I did not bring it.
Let me see if I can find it real quick.
No.
Just bring up Huey Lewis back in time, man.
But yeah,
we're already not going to get sued by the other two songs.
You immediately encounter this cave lady named Ayla, or Ala. It's Ayla. I say Ayla. Maybe it's Yila. I don't fucking know.
Sounds more Japanese if you say it like
yeah.
No.
And she's like, yeah, follow me. I'll take you back to our cave people village. We got that red rock you're talking about. And I want to say first and foremost, she's not a furry. People think she's like a cat lady because she's wearing like cat furs and there's a tail behind her, but it's just the furs that she's wearing. She killed an animal and is wearing it. So, not a furry. Stop. Just go away, furries.
It's called actual life.
Yeah.
Prehistoric.
Yeah, she takes you back to the village. She's like, yeah, we got to have like a celebration, blah, 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 because you're strange people and we're cave people.
Well, wait a minute. Just in defense of furries, they wear shit too and they think they're animals. So, she could have been a furry thinking that she was a furry.
No, she's like, I'm cold and this dead animal keeps me warm.
Yeah, well, when furries dress up like werewolves, I'm pretty sure they're warm in that suit.
Yeah,
they claim to be werewolves, and then they have sex. Why is it such a sexual thing that people are like furries, and that's a fetish? It is a fetish, right? I guess it's a fetish category.
Because they like dog buttholes. That's pretty much what it boils down to. It's fucking disgusting.
How do you know that she's not one of those people, though, that likes dog buttholes?
Because it says in very clear text, I do not like dog buttholes. My name is Ayla.
Dost thou not liketh thy dog butthole?
She's like, my name Ayla. I not like dog buttholes.
I like cat buttholes.
No.
we like prickly dicks. Kitties have prickly
I'm a weird
dickies.
breed. I have no butthole.
Well, we like goose dicks in 65 million BC. You want no part of goose dicks.
Nothing like old tanned goose.
Are they like duck dicks that are all like coiled and will spring forth?
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, duck dicks.
I don't know anything about goose dicks.
I think it's the same thing.
Probably, they can't be
probably
that different, right?
angrier. Actually, I'm just guessing because geese are angrier than ducks.
Yeah, they're assholes.
Just never forget around here, fellas, that Good Old Gamers podcast is a source of comedy and quality.
We would never kick a goose.
We're trying to instill you with the quality part.
And now you know to look up what duck dicks look like.
It's terrifying.
They can fill any shape you need to. They've proven it with tube technology.
I can smell it from here.
Nice and barbed. Anyways,
okay, so there's a furry cat lady.
There's a not furry cat lady.
All right.
In fact, it's just a cave lady.
This is your trigger for Chrono Trigger, isn't it?
Yes, I'm very triggered because people think that she's a fucking furry. And I'm like, no, god damn
it. Okay.
And she's also like the most sexual character too because one of her abilities is charm. And she like blows a kiss and a big heart flies over to the enemy and you can get items from them. But she's not a goddamn furry.
Well, I don't know, man. Now it sounds
She's
all
a fucking
fetishy
harlot.
and shit. There's definitely a sexual tone to her, and she's wearing cat shit. That's a furry's wet dream.
It made very clear though she fucks a human male who does not dress up like an animal.
But if you did dress up like a cat person and fucked her, that would...
I'll give you that, but he don't.
Dressing up like an animal and fucking like an animal are two different things. So
What about fucking animals?
that's a whole different ballgame too.
Just checking, you know.
Well,
I wasn't sure.
And child porn, check them two off this episode.
Goes to be
So, okay, so she charms the enemies into giving her items with her...
Yeah, that's one of the ways you get the in-game loot.
I think that's called being a woman, isn't it?
Yeah, pretty much. That's how you get in-game loot in here. You can get the little accessory that powers up her charm ability, and you can get some of the best items.
The accessory
in the game.
lingerie?
Nah, it's just called Charm Top, whatever the fuck that is.
A top that
It's a
charms
sexy
people?
top.
I guess maybe it is lingerie. I didn't think. I always thought of it like it's a dreidel. That didn't make any sense.
A
but
dreidel?
I was just thinking of a top that you spin.
Oh my god.
I just imagine she just pulls this top out and spins it for the enemy, and they're just like,
Oh my
I'm
god,
gonna
I'll give
fuck
you all
her
my
to
stuff.
death.
I never put them two together, but yeah, it could be a top.
But god damn it, never knew a dreidel could be so fucking sexy.
Dreidel.
Yeah.
But the skeet all over that face, bitch.
Are we ruining Brandon's childhood?
No, you can't ruin it. Dad ruined it.
Oh,
He didn't cease and desist.
oh god.
Okay.
God damn it.
So, prehistoric times.
Yeah, she's like, yeah, let's have a celebration.
She gave you the red stone. Why aren't you out of there
She
and
didn't give it to
reforging
me.
this stone?
She didn't give it to you yet. She's like, we got it, but we got to go celebrate first. We got to throw down. We got to bro down. You know, this is the bro down of the ages. We're gonna show you
My
how.
pooter needs a good pounding before I'm giving you anything. Harlot.
You go there. It's just like this big celebration. You see your other party members. They're doing their own thing. You know, like eating. Lucas picking out, and Robo's like, oh, you know, I'm a robot, and this is interesting because robots are interested in things. And Ayla challenges you to a drinking contest, and it's pretty much inferred that it's cave booze. It doesn't outright say it, but you pass out after beating her in this drinking contest.
Do you need a turbo controller to beat this one?
No, it's not that hard. Mostly because the story depends on it. So.
This is very like chugging soda, only it's not soda.
Yeah, because you pass out immediately after beating her. So you get the dreamstone from her and pass out, and then you wake up and there's all these reptile-looking footprints around the camp, and Luca's like, "Oh my god, the gate key's gone! What the fuck?" And you're like, "Well, we got the dreamstone, but we don't have the gate key, so we can't leave. We got to go get that back." And Ada's like, "Yeah, that's the reptiles. We'll go get it back from them. We'll kick their ass." The reptiles are humanoid dinosaurs. It's very Land of the Lost like.
Sleeshlack.
And I can't remember exactly how the reptile thing goes down in this part. You encounter like the reptile leader and you beat her or him. I think it's named Azala. I always say it's a girl. It looks like a girl. You beat
Azala.
Yeah, you beat her. You get the gate key back. And
Looks
you go,
like a girl, but it might not be a girl. That's a different fetish.
It looks like a girl, but it's also a dinosaur. So.
Wow. Yeah, definitely.
Dinosaurs are very ambiguous with their sex.
You have to make
It's
your
really
way
hard to
the-
know. All their shit's internal.
Yeah.
From what I don't know. I've only seen their bones.
I've only jacked off to dinosaurs once, so I don't really know.
Okay, so the celebration that
I'm just
prevents you
trying to
from
imagine
going
how
back-
somebody beats off the dinosaurs real quick. I hate to interject there, but
I'm glad that I put that picture of me jacking off to dinosaurs in your head.
I'm
you
just
say-
trying to picture in your head like
Not
what
the
was
mama.
what
Not
was
the
the
mama. Not
what
the
was
mama.
what was the sexy part of looking at a dinosaur that just made you grab your dicks?
We
What I'm wondering.
went down to one ear in our headphones.
No. Oh, we fixed.
Cool. Yeah.
Never knew dinosaurs could be so sexy.
Anyways, you beat the dinosaur, you get your gate key back, and you go back to 1000 AD and bring the Dreamstone and the Broken Mass Mune back to Melkor, and he fixes it.
But do you bring the cat girl with you?
She does not join your... She joined your party at the time, but she stays in 65 million BC. So she doesn't join your party permanently. But you get her back later.
This is the... Yeah, okay. I would say this is the most disappointing part of this quest.
Yeah, it happens with Frog and her both join and leave and rejoin later. Mm-hmm. So you get the mass immune, and
you still don't have Frog. He hadn't come back yet.
No, you got to go find Frog.
Okay.
So once you had to fix mass immune, you go back to 600 AD. You get the hero badge from this little kid who I think is kind of a. It's almost like a middle finger to The Legend of Zelda. They have this little kid trying to be a hero because he's got the hero's badge and he's just running away from all these monsters, like, fuck this! I'm a little kid. I can't be a fucking hero. This is dumb. So you get the hero badge from him, and you take the hero badge and the mass immune to Frog. And this is what makes Frog one of my favorite characters in the game, because he's one of the few characters that has a real backstory to him. Frog and the guy you're going to fight, Magus, have a history together. Frog, he was a human, and his name was Glenn. Glenn followed this knight named Cyrus, and Cyrus is like this, super badass knight, the best of the best. Even though it's mentioned in the flashback of their conversation, Glenn was a better swordsman. He just didn't like to fight. He was, I don't want to say cowardly, but he just didn't like violence.
More of a
He's
pacifist.
a pacifist. But he followed Cyrus around. They were really good friends. They were childhood friends. And Cyrus went and confronted Magus, and, Glenn was with him. Magus just wipes the fucking floor with Cyrus. And then Magus and his little green, his green buddy Ozzy, he's like his henchman. They're laughing
Who
at...
is a recurring villain throughout the game.
They're laughing at Glenn, and Magus curses him to look like a frog. And Frog falls off this cliff. They just assume he's dead, but even though he's not. And that's how he became Frog. And once he gets the mass immune, he kind of he comes to terms with his responsibility to Cyrus in the kingdom. So it's kind of one of those Spider-Man with great power comes great responsibility moments. He's like, I've got the ability to do this. I'm the only one who can do this.
That predates Spider-Man. Spider-Man stole that shit from Chrono Trigger.
Hell yeah, it did. From 600 AD. Fuck yeah.
But Frog didn't have no bitch ass Uncle Ben drop off the planet Earth neither, did he?
No. So Frog takes the mass immune, and you go to the Dendara Mountains, I want to say, and it's blocking your path to Magus's fortress. And he gives off this little speech, and it plays Frog's theme music again. And I wanted to read the speech in here, but without the context of everything else in the game, it really ain't that great sounding. So it's just one of the things. It's a really
putting context.
Yeah, it's a really
gamer moment.
Yeah, it's one of the most memorable moments in Chrono Trigger. He raises the mass immune to the air, and a pillar of light starts glowing from it, and it zooms out to the world map, and this the pillar of light it's global. Anybody can see it. And he just cuts this fucking mountain in two. So yeah,
Frog the mountain in twain.
Yes, Frog is a fucking badass. It's one of the things I love about this game is it has this almost like Dragon Ball Z moments where it just powers up to such an epic proportion, and it just blows
apart a fucking continent.
Yeah. So you clear the mountain in twain and make your way to defeat Magus. Magus's fortress is kind of a tricky place, but it's your typical bad guy castle. He's got some henchmen you got to fight. Nothing I really want to go in depth to on there. But when you find Magus, he's like doing this big ceremony thing, and he relays to you the fact that he didn't create Lavos. He was going to summon Lavos. He doesn't say why, but he's summoning Lavos. So either way, you got to stop him. You whoop Magus's ass, and a giant-ass time warp, like a time gate, envelops the whole castle, sucks everything in it. The whole castle's gone, Magus is gone, everybody's gone. You wake up back again in 65 million BC, and Nayla's like, oh, you're here. She's like, well, I was about to go kick the Reptites' ass. Y'all want to come? I'm like, sure, fuck them Reptites.
That's racist.
Yeah, speciest. Fuck the Reptites.
We've created a whole new type of hate crime tonight.
Yeah,
fuck the Reptites.
You go with her. You go through the Reptites fortress.
Reptite Navy.
Oh God. Trump starting the Reptite Navy. But yeah, you go with her. The reptile place is pretty memorable because the cave people are all living in like these shanties, bamboo huts and things. Reptiles have a goddamn castle, so they're clearly way more advanced. On average, they're way more stronger. Ayla's,
like Sleeslacks.
Yeah.
Land of the Lost shit right there.
Yeah, it's very much throwback to Land of the Lost here. On average, they're stronger than the cave people. They're smarter than the cave people. It's just because if your party in Ayla is the only reason why the humans came out ahead. So you kind of see all this like self-fulfilling prophecy, I guess you could say, type of shit. Where
so
if you didn't go back,
you went back in time and made it to where humans were the dominant species.
Right.
Disclaimer: I don't know anything about Land of the Lost and if Sleeslacks were advanced, and I'm pretty sure that it's mass immune because I don't know how I read it as a kid. But in other Final Fantasy stuff, I didn't read that sword name right.
You're probably closer than me.
No. Mass immune's got to be correct. There's no other way to say it.
Anyway,
settled.
Disclaimed. Yeah. Back on topic.
Take that, internet.
We just broke you, motherfucker.
I guess I never thought about it this way. Maybe if your party didn't do this, it might have still happened the same way. Because after you defeat the main reptile guy or girl, Azala again, you defeat her giant mechanical T-Rex, which breathes fire. It's really fucking advanced for that time.
It's better than the dragon tank.
Oh, yeah. It's massive compared to that thing. Like, it takes up a full half of the screen. And
it's a very large boss battle.
Yeah. After you defeat that, Azala gives this little like speech looking up to the sky, and you see this red star. Looks like you see it beforehand too, but this red star just like orbiting the planet. And she starts talking about, red star come down and bring.
She's casting meteor.
She kind of is, but kind of not. She's more or less is begging. This thing's happen regardless of her. She's begging this red star to come down and bring ruin and devastation and all this shit.
She just exterminated the fucking dinosaurs.
Pretty much. The red star is actually Lavos landing on Earth. Lavos, it turns out, is an extraterrestrial being that
pulled a Sephiroth and called a meteor to kill a planet.
Yeah. The Lavos is an extraterrestrial parasite that is basically Galactus. It eats planets that are capable of supporting life. It sucks the energy out of them. This is also a reference. Well, I guess this is also what I'd say Final Fantasy VII was semi-based on.
Yeah.
Because it's sucking the material out of the planet.
Oh, yeah.
Lavos
I can see the Sephiroth parallel there.
Yeah, Lavos is sucking the energy of the planet. So the Lavos hits right where that fortress is. You get out of there in time, and after the Lavos hits, you're like, he's just here. He's got to be weak. Let's go whoop his ass. And you go to the crater of impact, and he's done buried. He's done in the center of the planet. So he couldn't do that. There's a gateway right where you can land it, and that's where you're going to go. But another aside I wanted to bring up, if you go talk to the cave people after this, they're like, the weather's so cold now. It's unseasonably cold. Talking about how they need more clothes and all this. So it very well hints that an ice age is coming because of the impact. And if you go in the gateway, it takes you to 12,000 BC, and the world is in full-on ice age mode here. The continent you're on is just nothing but glacial wasteland. Nothing on here but this one little, I guess it's a kind of a hut/dwelling, I want to say.
Yeah.
It reminds me of Star Wars, because the way the base is set up, it's like one little dome and 4 glowing lights around it. Looks like one of the Rebel bases almost. You go in there and there's a pad you step on, and it teleports you up into this floating city above the world. And it's literally like a floating mountains that they've got. You come to find out that in 12,000 BC, people learned how to use magic. And magic is, just to cut things short, you find it out a little later, but magic's basically powered by Lavos. And this whole civilization is running off the power of Lavos. They're siphoning energy from Lavos. So... And in here, there's a lot of good tunes in this place. It's all very like new age sounding. I got one to play. It's something I could smoke a marijuana cigarette and lean back and listen to.
like it. It's got like a kind of an Eastern vibe to
Yeah,
it.
yeah. That's why some of their architecture in this place is set up too. It's Eastern influenced. To cut things short here, because you find out all these different things by talking to people, and I don't want to go through every minor action because we'll be here for fucking ever. Like I said, you find out that they're siphoning energy from Lavos to power this place and their magic. And also, there's a princess here named Princess Shala, and the prince, outside of there is Janice, who's actually Magus as a child. Shala's the one that they pretty much rely on for siphoning the energy from Lavos. They created this machine called the Mammon Machine, and she powers it. She's got the same necklace that Marl has. It's actually the past version of her necklace, and she uses that to power the Mammon Machine. But since you find out that they are using Lava's energy, you kind of want to try to put a stop to it, because they're only going to wake him up and piss him off. So when you're investigating all this shit, this mysterious prophet is just a guy wearing a robe who's in with the queen here, and although the royalty, he finds out about you, and he makes Shala open up a time gate back down on the glacial wasteland. The time gate you came through, actually. He makes her open it up, send y'all through it, and then she seals it shut. And that was the deal. They kind of brokered, because he was wanting to just take your party to execution. And she's like, no, don't do that. She's kind of a good girl here, but even though she's being forced to do this evil deed of sucking energy from Lavos. I know I'm telling it pretty shitty, but
it's okay.
I'm trying to
condense. Epic.
I'm trying to condense a lot of story here to not, take forever. So even though the princess is she's almost weak-willed in a way. She don't want to tell her mother no, but she's got a good heart to her. All the there's also two basically castes of people in this civilization. There's the people who can use magic, and they all live up in the land of Zeal. That's what they call the floating lands. Down on the ground, I think they call it Terra, something like that. It's Earth. It's just people living in disheveled, like, underground huts. They're the lesser ones. They can't use magic. And Shala is like the only person who goes down there from Zeal and talks to them. They all love her. She don't see themselves as any better than the Earth-dwelling people. But everyone in Zeal, other than her, pretty much is like, yeah, fuck those guys. They even mentioned that they're building a new palace under the ocean, where they're going to turn on the Mammon Machine there to suck even more energy from Lavos. And they talk about bringing the Terra dwellers down there to work on it. And they're like, I can't believe we're even taking them down there. They're just disgusting and that kind of thing. So they really don't like the non-magic users here.
Mm.
But anyways, she saves your life by working out a deal with this prophet guy to bring you back to the gateway, send you through, and sealing it up. And so you go back through the gateway, and let me think. Yeah, okay. You end up going back. You end up going back to the end of time. And you talk to the old man there, who you slowly kind of figured out he's more than just some random old man, which, obviously, what was this guy doing at the end of time?
Yeah.
He tells you that, this to make things easier, I'll just go ahead and spoil it all here. He's actually, the land of Zeal has 3 gurus that you hear talk about when you're talking to people. This is the guru of time, the guru of life, and the guru of something else. We didn't figure it out last time, and I don't really fucking care. He's a guru of something big.
Gotta be war. It's gotta be the dude that makes you run around clockwise 3 times.
No, we did figure it out.
We might have, but that's not him. He comes from the time too, but that's not him. Anyways, the guy, the old
Guru of life.
I say guru of life.
Or life.
Lifetime and something else.
Okay.
Wikipedia.
I'll figure it out.
Yeah. Anyways, you find out that the old man is the guru of time, Gaspar. and he's like, "Hey, I know about this thing that the guru, it might be the guru of knowledge. It's got to be because this guy likes all sciencey, so it's the guru of knowledge." He's like, "Yeah, I know the guru of knowledge was making this, making the wings of time. It should be in the future. That's where he landed." So he gives you a hint where to go. You go to 2300 AD, and you go in this dome, and there's this like blue creature in there. You've seen a couple of them so far in Zeal. They're called News. They're just like big round creatures with stringy-looking arms and legs, docile creatures. There's one in there, and it's asleep. You wake it up, and it's like, I'm Balthazar's memory programmed into this robot, or in this creature, and he leads you to these quote-unquote wings of time, which is a time machine that Balthazar made, being the guru of knowledge. And you get to name it too. It's basically another party member, even though it don't fight. Its default name is Epoch. So you get in the Epoch and you go back to 12,000 BC because now you're not shut out anymore. You can just go wherever the fuck you want.
This is kind of where everything...
I can't hear you worth shit.
What the fuck?
Did you turn off your mic?
Oh. Yes. My microphone slid down and the
Pokemon turned it off.
The Pokemon did it.
That makes no sense to someone who's listening to the podcast, but you have a Pokemon.
Well, I was just talking about my
Yeah.
My microphone does not fit into the shock mount, so you have to
Just have the Wobbuffet in there.
put a little Wobbuffet in there to make it hold on.
That's a technical term, Wobbuffet. Audio engineers would know what we're talking about.
Indeed.
Anyways, you go back to 12,000 BC, and
What I was saying is this is kind of where the game opens up.
Somewhat,
Right.
It's a little bit after this. But you go to 12,000 BC, and now that you're not bound to the gateways, you're like, fuck the police, I do what I want. And you go back up to Zeal, and you go to the Queen's Palace, and they've already taken the Mammoth Machine down to the Ocean Palace, so you go down there too. You fight a bunch of mini bosses here, and this is where like the game starts getting harder because there's a lot of enemies that you can only kill with magical abilities here, and you got to do attack them in certain orders. Like attacking them with one ability might make them strong with that ability. Like a lot of the golem bosses you fight, if you attack them with physical at all, their physical attack that they counter you with halves your character's HP in one go. So you don't want to physical attack those guys, but if you hit them with fire, their next attack is going to be a fire-based attack. So if you got all armor that reduces fire damage, you're good. But the trick is you've only got one character on your team that can do any one specific element damage. So
strategy.
The real strategy to those golems you fight is to not hit them with physical damage, but to spam the fuck out of magic attacks. Because every time you hit them with a magic attack, they have like an internal timer, and they swap over to the new element. So if you just attack them all really fast with different elements, they keep starting the timer over, and they never attack you beyond like the first attack. So spam the fuck out of the golems of magic, and you pretty much got it. But yeah, you get down to the Ocean Palace, and you confront the Queen, Shala, the Prophet, all at the Mammoth Machine, and the Queen she does some kind of magical fuckery that teleports everybody right in front of Lavos. And this is where shit gets real. This is also, I think, one of the first times you hear Lavos' roar, and it's one of those sound bites that, like, if I could have heard a fraction of it, I could tell you where it came from because it sticks with me so well. It's such a weird sounding roar. It's very inhuman and out of this world sounding. I'll play it now. Very
sounds like a bowel movement after Taco Tuesday.
Yeah, it's mechanical, and in a way it kind of reminds me of Gygas from Earthbound too.
Yeah.
It's one of them,
like the multiple voices screaming at once kind of deal.
She teleports you in front of Lavos then, and the prophet reveals himself. He's Magus from 600 AD. When he got sucked into the time gate, he came here, and he was going to... This whole time when he was summoning Lavos in 600 AD and his goal now, is he's trying to defeat Lavos because he knew what Lavos was going to do. So even though he's been a bad guy, he's still kind of a good guy. He's very much the anti-hero of this game. And another note, if anyone watches wrestling, the wrestler Neville... looks just like Magus. It's pretty cool if you put them side by side. Dude looks weird. Because Magus has like really... Everything about him is, I want to say almost geometrical. Like very pointy. He's got a pointed nose, pointy ears, really well-defined jaws. And he looks emo as fuck.
My children, my Lavos.
But Lavos whoops his fucking ass. I mean, Magus casts like his best shit at him. And Lavos is like, whatever, bitch. And this bitch slaps him aside. Bitch slaps everybody's side, everybody except the queen. Lavos then sends the 3 gurus who are present. He sends them to different time zones, and it shows Gaspar go to the end of time. So as Balthazar go to the future, and it shows Melkor, who you didn't know was the guru at the time, go to 1000 AD. So the smith that fixed Masamune was one of the gurus. Also here, I didn't mention earlier, up in Zil, you found Massa and Mune in there. You talk to them. They're talking about how they talked to Melkor and talking about how they want to ride the wind and all this kind of like magical stuff. They're very childish in spirit, but it's just cool seeing that you saw the beginning of Massa and Mune there. But also, after he sends Janus, who's Magus' child, through time too, and he ends up in 600 AD, and you see him like meet Ozzy, the green henchman. So you see how all that plays out, and Lavos opens his mouth and just starts sucking the whole party in, and that's when you get Chrono. He stands up, and you can run around and try to do something. There's not shit you can do but go straight up to Lavos' mouth. And you pretty much sacrifice Chrono to save everybody else. So Chrono dies. He gets disintegrated by Lavos. And Luca and you, I guess it depends on who you have in your party.
Yeah, you can, at that point.
I always go with Chrono, Luca, and Robo, because that's just one of my favorite teams as far as mechanics go. They're really strong. But whoever your remaining guys are, Shala, the princess, gets you out of there. She's like, this is fucked. Sorry.
Abort.
Pretty much destroying the world because Lavos is raining down hell on Zil. And she teleports you down to the ground. Zil crashes in the ocean. You see sequences of tidal waves, coming. And if it wasn't for the fact that the human civilization on the ground was underground, they would have been fucked, but they survived okay. So pretty much Zil's gone, except for the Ocean Palace. It didn't get destroyed, and you kind of end up with the remaining humans on the ground. There's some of the Zil residents on the ground, and I think they start saying how they can't use magic anymore. It's gone to them for some reason, and they don't want to be one of these ground living hobos. But one of the Zil, general that you encountered, I never talked about, named Dalton, he's this real arrogant asshole. He comes in, he whoops your ass with some magic in a cutscene, and he steals Epoch. He's like, this is going to be my new throne. And so he takes it off. They've got a airship called the Blackbird. And you find your way onto the Blackbird, and you whoop Dalton's ass, and you get Epoch back. And you find out that he put wings on the Epoch. Epoch can now fly around in space. So it's also an airship as well as a time ship or time machine. So this is where the game opens up. You can just fly around wherever you want, access any of the continents you want, go through any time period you want. So the game's no longer like a linear thing. It's kind of like how a lot of the Final Fantasies.
Like when you get the Black Jack.
Yeah, when you get the airship, the world finally opens up to you in full. But yeah, Chrono's dead, and you find out from the old man, the Guru of Time, that there's a way to maybe fix that. He gives you something called the Chrono Trigger.
Oh, what?
And it's just a little egg. He says you have to go to Death Peak and 2300 AD because that's like where Lavos rose. Then.
Death Peak.
Death
Mountain.
Yep. And he says also you're going to need a clone of Chrono. You know, I don't know where you can get one of them things, but you can get a clone of Chrono and you might be able to save him. Like, oh, yeah, I know where a clone is. If you already got the clone from the Haunted Mansion in the Millennial Fair, you can just go to Chrono's house and take it back. And if you talk to his mom, she's like, hey, is Chrono okay? And Luca or whoever you got is all quiet and like, yeah, he'll be back soon.
Well, it would be a Debbie Downer if they were like, no, your son was eviscerated. I watched your son's fucking head turn into sand and float away. What? A baby?
He was dealt a harsher hand than Lot's wife. But yeah, you get the clone. You take the Chrono Trigger to Death's Peak, and on Death's Peak, there's a bunch of small Lavos spawn because at Lavos' life cycle is he goes to the planet, consumes its energy, destroys it, and spawns off new Lavoses, and they go out into the universe and fuck up other planets. So you encounter some of his spawn here, and it's the spawn. If you have Ayla and her charm top, will provide you some of the best gear in the game if you steal from them. I can't remember exactly what you got off there's two parts of them, the shell and the head. I think the head gives you a haste helm and the shell gives you something else that's good. I can't recall. It's really important to steal from them if you want some top end gear. But you go to the top of Death Peak, you use the Chrono Trigger, and it teleports you back to the moment of Chrono's death, and you just do a switcheroo with the clone and Chrono. So that's how you get Chrono back.
So the clone's like, fuck you guys, why are you sacrificing?
Clones have no rights.
The clone isn't like a traditional clone. It's like basically a doll that can be maneuvered, like articulated. So
is it anatomically correct?
Yes. It looks just like Chrono. So
so if you fuck it, is that being gay or just masturbation?
Both. Gaysturbation.
It's
not a bad feeling.
There's nothing wrong with it. At least that's what Dad told me. Okay. Anyways, this is the
shit.
After this part of the game, you're like free with who you have in your party. You don't have to have Chrono in your party anymore if you don't want to. Now, mechanically, you're fucking stupid if you don't have Chrono in your party because he's a bad motherfucker. But if you don't want Chrono in your party, fuck it. You can get to have Chrono in your party. It's one of the few Square games where you don't have to have the main character in your party.
6 though.
Yeah. And like I said, this is where the world opens up, and there's a shitload of side quests you can do. And all the side quests let you learn more about the characters. Let me see. Yeah. I'm not going to go over all of them. We've been long enough. I did want to talk about one of them, though, that I thought was really cool. If you go to 600 AD, you'll notice in this one continent, there's a lone house out there. If you talk to the lady inside there, she's like, "Oh, I hate that the land around here is so deserted, and that is a wasteland, and I wish we could plant trees and that kind of thing." And if you look on the map, there's like a big sand whirlpool. You can land Epoch there and go inside of it, and there's a bunch of monsters in here, and they're actually pretty tough. If you don't have Frog in your party, you're not going to do this. Because there's a monster in there he's like a big giant skeleton made out of sand. And if you don't use water magic to soften him up, he's just fucking impossible. But you whoop all the monsters' asses in here, and the sand vortex goes away. And if you talk to that lady again, she talks about how the salt here is returned to normal. And she's like, I'm going to plant a forest, but trees take so long to grow, I'll never be able to do it. And Robo's like, hey, since I'm an immortal robot and all, how about you leave me here and come back in 400 years, and I'll help this lady plant her forest. And like, okay.
Convenient.
Yeah. So
Agrobot.
Yeah.
Plant.
And it's cool is if you when you leave, you see Robo in like a harvester looking mode where he's like tilling the ground and stuff on the overworld map.
When you come back, that bitch is dead though.
Oh yeah. Well, you go to 1000 AD, and the landscape's changed. Instead of a waste desert type of land, it's a very lush forest, and in the middle of it's a cathedral. And you go in the cathedral, and there's all of these people like paying homage to Robo, and he is up at the front of the cathedral. I guess he's at the back of the cathedral. They've like put him on display. He's very run down. He's got like leaves sticking out of him and stuff. You can tell he's literally worked for 400 years. And Luca fixes him up again, and you kind of have a celebratory camp out in the forest. And
as I often do.
Yeah. It's sexy time camp out. And this camp out, they reveal some things about the story that I thought was interesting. They start talking about how I think it's Frog that starts philosophizing about this. About
what is a chair?
What is a chair? God damn it! But he starts talking about how when you're about to die, how you see like the most important moments of your life, and he's like, well, it feels like there's some entity out there that is putting these gates of time out here, and these are like the most important moments in time to it. And it's more or less implied that the entity is the Earth. So the Earth's been dying in these gateways in time, or the Earth's flashbacks as it's dying. So I thought that was pretty cool.
That's touching, actually.
Yeah.
Or terrifying, because the Earth's going to die, but yeah.
Well, I mean, it's cool. It's a pretty cool explanation to why these fucking gates are just popping up throughout time.
Yeah.
But also, all the characters go to sleep, and then you wake up in the middle of the night. It's just Luca. You can only control her. Everyone else is sleeping. You go try to interact with them. You can't. If you go off screen to the right, there is a red gateway. You go in it, and you end up in Luca's house back when she was a kid. And just some backstory: if you ever go visit Luca's house in 1000 AD, her dad and her mom's there. Her dad's an inventor too. And he'll make her like new gear and stuff. One of her best armor pieces comes from him just by talking to him. And her mom is crippled. Her mom got her legs fucked up when she was a kid by getting trapped in one of her dad's inventions while she's cleaning. So you come back to that moment in time, and this is kind of like her chance to fix it. And you see it play out. You go downstairs, you see Luca as a kid fucking off like kids do, and their mom's like, oh, this machine's really dirty, I'm gonna dust it. And she goes over there, she's like, oh no, my skirt's caught, I can't get loose. And then the machine turns on. It's just like a conveyor belt pulling her in. And if you went around and read notes, you found out the password to the machine was Laura, which is the mom's name. And if you to input it, it's both ingenious and infuriating if you don't know it. You go to the machine's inputs, it says input password, and you're like, what the fuck? How do I input Laura? Then if you think about it though, the SNES controller has LARA.
Oh my god, okay.
So you gotta press LARA and it turns it off. And after that, that leads you to going back to 1000 AD talking to her dad.
That's some good video game shit right there.
Yeah.
The Japanese thought of that shit, and they don't speak LARA either.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's how you get some of her best shit. I think the Wonder Shot.
They can't even say L.
Yeah. It's just RA. Rah-rah.
Oh, god damn it. Rah.
Give me some Lucky Charms.
God damn it.
Well,
I love English, though. I don't say that like to disparage it. I really love it. It's a great thing in my life. I'm glad it's around.
Cheers to English.
English.
I
just imagine you were talking about all that, and I just imagine that mother being like, everything was fine until your father's goddamn garbage press decided to come animated and break my goddamn legs. I haven't walked for 16 years because his fucking invention self-realized and decided, Well, Laura's legs look goddamn weak. We're just going to stomp them until they don't fucking work anymore.
Yeah, and now the story, because he changed it, was like, you know, your mom was about to have her legs ripped off, but somehow you fucking knew the password and you just went over there and did the right thing.
Now,
that's fucking scary.
Now, instead of
too.
having the money to power all these inventions because they didn't get the insurance policy, they're just poor and destitute. We lost our house thanks to you, little ass.
I still got my legs, but I got to eat goddamn cabbage water for the rest of my fucking life.
But yeah,
Then he just makes an invention that solely has no other purpose but to make his mother or his wife cripple.
it's called a baseball bat. You don't have to invent much.
Well, yeah. First, you need to invent a lathe. Maybe he has that.
But yeah, there's a shitload of side quests. One thing I like to kind of talk about is all the time fuckery involved in the side quests. What are you drawing?
I have a black Pac-Man and a white ghost.
It's Black Man.
Oh shit!
It's about to be a hate crime.
Oh hell!
Okay, I'm sorry to interrupt you.
That's fine. But yeah, the time fuckery involved in this. Throughout the game in 600 and 1000 AD, there's all these sealed chests, and after you're about in Zeal, the pendant reacts to them and can open them. But if you're not a greedy bastard and you're willing to put a little bit of time into it, if you go into 600 AD and interact with the chests, it says the contents of the chest react to the pendant. Do you want to open it? Hit no. And then go back to 1000 AD and go to the same chest and open it, and it powers up the contents of the chest. So you get some really good items doing that. And then you can go back to 600 AD and loot the lesser version, so it's a win-win. And that kind of fuckery I thought was really cool. There's so many things like in 1000 AD, the mayor of one of these towns is a huge fucking greedy dick. And if you go back in time and give his like grandmother, great grandmother, some shit, some beef jerky of all things. She's like, "Oh, I'm going to teach my kids the value of sharing."
Wow!
And then you go back to the mayor again. He's all nice, and at one of the quests, he gives you like a major item to get Chrono's best weapon in the game.
That's weird. I just gave a coworker some beef jerky. I hope
now his kids are going to. Yeah,
you've leveled up his kids in the future.
His great grandson is going to be a pretty cool guy because of you.
Huh. Give the gift of beef jerky, people. You don't know how much good it could do in the future.
No shit. And
he's got a woman tied up in his bathtub about to slit her throat. And he's just like, I was going to murder the fuck out of you, but I just remember I got some Jack Links in the counter.
Messing with Sasquatch.
He just like cuts her free. He's like, get on out of here. He's like, I'm going to murder this beef jerky. Instead of your ass.
Murder this beef jerky. Step into a Slim Jim.
Oh, yeah.
Well, thank God for that beef jerky.
But yeah, at this point, there's several different ways you can beat the game. After the Zeal incident, something appeared in 4 different time periods called the Black Omen, which is actually the Ocean Palace rising out of the ground and is floating over the land. And it's just this big giant death castle floating in the middle there. It's in 12,000 BC, 600 AD, 1000 AD, and 2300 AD. If you go try to visit it in 2300 AD, the queen meets you at the entrance. She's like, lava's done destroyed the world. Sucks to be you. You can't do shit here. And you can't 'cause it's too late then. But if you go back in time, you can go through the Black Omen those 3 different times if you do it in order from latest to earliest. If you beat it in 12,000 BC, can't do it again in 600 or 1000 AD. So if you want to get the most loot in the game, you do it through 1000 AD, 600 AD, then 12,000. And it's the same every time, just you got to go through it 3 times if you want to maximize your loots. Game's not hard enough. You got to do that though. If you just want to get through it, just pick one of them and go through it. You don't even have to beat the game that way. You can go through the bucket and fight lavos. You can fly Epoch into 1999. And one of the cool things about that is if you fly Epoch to 1999 when the world ends, you have the option of of crash landing Epoch into Lavos, and you skip one of the Lavos' fights. Normally, when you fight Lavos, you start with its exterior, which is a giant, like, spiky turtle shell almost. You can just pierce the shell with the Epoch, and you go to the inside.
Does it kill Epoch?
Yes.
Oh, well, you can't do that then.
Yeah, it sucks.
Don't be a dick.
Yeah.
He's part of the party, man.
Yeah, he is. You got to name it and everything. So, I always go through the Black Omen, and it don't matter which one you pick. If you just want to beat the game, they all go the same way. At the end of the Black Omen, after you defeat the Queen and all that shit, you go to Lavos. Lavos, like I said, it's a multi-part fight. The first fight, you're fighting his exterior. He mimics like all the major story bosses of the game. So even like the dragon tank at the beginning and every other major boss, any of the multi-part, the bosses with multiple parts for you to target, he summons these little like weird looking alien fucks. Looks like bipedal crickets, I want to say. They're really freaky looking. You can target them instead of his face, and that constitutes the mimicry of the multi-part bosses. And it's a pretty long fight because there's a lot of bosses he fought that he mimics. Once you beat him, his
mecha dinosaurs and dragon tanks.
Yeah, mimics all of them. Once you defeat him, his head, goes away, and you can enter his shell. And inside of his shell, everything in here looks very biological because you're literally inside of a.
You described it last week like an H.R. Geiger.
Yeah, it kind of is.
Hmm.
It also kind of reminds me of Gygas's layer in Earthbound. Again, it's all this biomechanical type shit. And you encounter Lavos' it just calls him Lavos. I don't want to say it's his heart because his next form after that's called Lavos' heart. I'll say it's his core, or it might be the other way around. Either way, this form of Lavos is this giant, four-armed, three-eyed, alien-looking fuck who is his waist is buried into the shell of Lavos, and he's like got all these giant veins or tubes connected them elsewhere into the Lavos. This is the being inside of Lavos, and you got to fight him here. And I don't recall this fight being hard at all. He don't go through any kind of special fuckery. You just pretty much whoop his ass here, and then that goes away, and it shows his actual core, which is not much bigger than your characters. He went from being gargantuan in size to being like twice the size of your characters at the end of it. The last form of Lavos, his core, he looks very mushroomy, I want to say. It looks like a bipedal mushroom man almost, and he has two little floating mushroom things with it. And at this point, it's revealed that throughout this time, Lavos has been harvesting DNA from all the creatures of Earth and evolving himself along with it. So he's been making himself stronger. And this is a really long fucking fight right here. The gist of it is the right pod that he summons heals the left and right. So, and it's really hard to kill. So you got to take out the left and right, and then you can attack the right. You got to take out the left pod, hit the Lavos' body himself, and then you can attack the right pod. When you deal enough damage to the right pod, it resurrects Lavos and the left pod again, and you got to cycle through that for every time period you've been through. It's a really trippy scene where the background is cycling through the different time periods. Everything's all wavy and psychedelic looking, but you can definitely see like the Millennial Fair Square and the prehistoric jungles and that kind of thing. So it's pretty cool the way you get to see all that progress. And after you defeat him, you wake up in Chrono's house as Chrono, and one of the Guardia Castle guards comes in the room and it's like, "Hey, your execution delay has been canceled. It's time to go for your execution." And you're like, "What?" Okay. So you go to Guardia Castle, and Chrono kneels at the stairs of the king's throne, and the king's talking about how he really endangered Princess Nadia, and Chancellor's like, "Yeah, everything you did really impacted everything." And it turns out to be like a giant turd trick, because all these characters from throughout time come out and start talking about how you saved them. Like the King of Guardia from 600 AD talks about how you've really turned the war around. The people from the future, the old man you talk to in the future, he comes out and talks about how he gave his people hope. And
Wait, how did these people get here?
well, I'll get to that.
Okay.
After all those people come out from the different time periods, like Ayla's main squeeze comes out there and it's like, yeah, Chrono strong, Chrono, defeat reptiles, that kind of thing. Luca comes out from behind the one of the thrones. She waves around the gate key and she's like, yeah, this is all me, ha ha ha, it's the turd trick. And the king's pretty much like, hey, the Moonlight Parade of the Millennial Fair is going on. You two kids, you run along and have fun there. And you go back to the Millennial Square or Millennial Fair, and this time the place is lit up in like Christmas lights. Just really cheerful
big
music,
celebration.
Yeah, cheerful music going on. And you go back up to you can talk to anybody you want here and stuff, but you go back up to where Luca's contraption was beginning. She's up there. She's summoned up the gate again. She's sending everybody back to their proper times. She sends Frog. I think first she sends Ayla and Kino, Ayla's main squeeze, back to the prehistoric times. And this is where Princess Nadia mentions that she thinks that Ayla's one of her really ancient ancestors. She's like, y'all have some strong kids now. Don't have no furry kids. Not got no pussy furries. I'll be weak as fuck. Sends Frog and Magus back to their own times.
Wait, now Frog, you said it was a curse. Does Frog get uncursed?
One of the endings you can see Frog uncursed.
Hmm.
That's one of the special endings you can get. But not when you first beat the game, you pretty much only get one ending. After you beat the game, you can start a New Game Plus, which starts with all your old stuff.
So New Game Pluses started with this game?
It just keeps your items.
Yeah,
and
your
stuff
items and levels
carry
and stuff.
over.
Most of
That's
them.
like the whole New Game Plus. Is that where that shit started? It's
Yeah.
like, this is the first game with New Game Plus.
That I know of. Yeah.
Huh.
So yeah, she sends Frog and Magus back to their time, and I can't remember what Frog says then, but it's real
Ribbit.
touchy feely. Yeah, Ribbit. Magus doesn't say shit because he's an emo fuck. He just. I think
I'm gonna go sit in my room, listen to my MCR records.
one of them says something
Fuck
to
you,
Magus.
Mom, and fuck you, Dad.
One of them says something nice to Magus, like thanks or something like that, and he goes into the gate. He just stares at him, puts his cape over his face, and just fades out to his time period. He's emo as fuck. I forgot to mention that Magus joined your party. I completely missed that. You can have him join your party. It's optional. After Zeal crashed, you can go up to this peninsula or cape, if you want to call it. Magus is out there looking all emo and dramatic over the ocean. And if you got Frog in your party, Frog's like, hey man, I really don't like you. And Magus is like, what, you going to kill me? And you have an option, yes or no. He said, yes, you can kick his ass and kill him. No, he joins your party. And he's a really good magic user, but I want to say he's kind of overrated compared to some of the other characters. But anyways, that's pretty much all the role he plays in the story at that point, so he's not a major player after that. So back to the ending of the game. You send Frog and Magus back, then you send Robo and the old man from the future back, and this is where Luca has a huge breakdown. She's like, well, in the future, you might not have been built. You might not exist in the future, and they have their pretty cool little touchy-feely moments, but Robo talks about having oil in his ocular units or something and stumbles around because he's crying as a robot, and he goes back in time. Or he goes forward in time, rather, back to the future. And then the gate stays open, I think, and you hear meowing. And Chrono's cat from his house comes out, and his mom is chasing after it. And the cat jumps into the gateway, and she's like, Chrono, your cat, what does it say? This is what you get when you never feed your cat. It's running away. And she jumps in the gate after it. And then the gate closes. And it's like, oh, fuck, what are we going to do? And they get in the Epoch and go after her. And it's time for a new adventure. And that's then.
It's just so... It's so sad that this game is as legendary as it is, and they left it wide open for a direct sequel, and they never did that.
Well, Chrono Cross. It's
Chrono
not
Cross,
direct.
I was gonna say it's not. It's a sequel, but it's not.
That wasn't
direct.
well received, as far as I was informed.
No.
They didn't continue the actual story of
It does.
Chrono.
Yeah, Chrono's not there. I think I haven't played Chrono Cross yet because I never had a PlayStation growing up. Now that I have my daughter's Raspberry Pi set up for PlayStation games, I might play it here. But yeah, I know it's got the Gurus are in there. At least some of them. I think Balthazar's in it. I think Robo's in it. I'm not sure. I can't recall who else. But it is the same world. It's just more time fuckery with different characters. I want to say Luca plays a part in it too.
I don't
But I don't think she's like a
I
party
definitely
member.
don't know jack shit about
Yeah,
Chrono Cross.
I don't want
just knew it wasn't like a direct sequel to Chrono Trigger.
When it released, it was pretty well shit on. Now people are starting to love it because the love of Chrono Trigger, but
Because they know that's all they're going to get.
yeah,
So they love it, what they got.
yeah, pretty much.
That's kind of like the Half-Life series of Square, essentially.
Yeah, except this, and Half-Life 2 was better than 1. Chrono Cross was not better than Chrono Trigger.
Oh yeah, that's true.
But yeah, that's Chrono Trigger. Hope I didn't bore everyone to death with it.
Nah,
But it's definitely a game to check out if you like RPGs.
I like the epicness of it. I mean, I only knew so much of it, and now I feel very well educated. But like, just the source of the magic was this entity that they summoned, and then they were siphoning off of it, and then once it was gone, then the magic was gone. This is shit that like a DM would love to use as inspiration to make their own world and their own reason for having magic and all that kind of shit. It's so creative. You know, what else do you see that in, really, in stories and movies and AAA movies like you're talking about? Like, it feels like a AAA movie with the pacing of the action and the story. But, like, there's just so many things that you can experience in a video game. And when this game came out, it was right around the Final Fantasy VI, where I realized that games could be something more than what we were seeing in AAA movies. They can show you plots and epic things that you can only get out of something like a book or a movie. But with a video game, it's you're invested because you're putting time into it in a way that like is interactive and stuff. So yeah, I mean, this game sounds epic, and I just can't believe I missed out on it when it was. Like, because now if you go back to it, you have to compare it to the experiences that you've had since then, and video games have made leaps and bounds. But just when it comes to storytelling with the video games that we had on 16 and bit consoles, it just sounds like Chrono Trigger is something you can't really miss.
Yeah, it's definitely. It'll always be one of my favorites.
A lot of people hail it as the greatest Super Nintendo title of all time.
Yeah, again, Earthbound is always going to be my favorite, but objectively looking at it, Chrono Trigger is definitely one of the top titles. Definitely, I would say, the top RPG title.
Oh, wait. Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past, I mean...
Well, see, Zelda is technically an RPG, but I don't consider it the typical RPG.
It's more like an adventure.
It's an adventure, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's definitely not like... I mean, it's kind of RPG.
Which is kind of like Brandon's debate about the new Breath of the Wild coming out. Is like, do you really need a Zelda game where you have to level up
and get stats
and survival details?
I'm never worried about my strength value and armor value in a Zelda game. That's always been one of the charms of it. Is it's simple. You know, the difficulty in Zelda came from your ability to A, master the combat controls, and B, solve puzzles.
Yeah, it was very much a puzzle solving series.
Yeah. So if I got to grind in a Zelda game to get somewhere, I'm out. I don't want to do that. Not in Zelda.
You got to give it a chance. Let it stand on its own, you know.
But I don't want Skyrim Hyrule Edition. I want Zelda. So,
well, just judging from it, it looks like a Zelda game. And
yeah.
If they add the Skyrim shit into it, just accept it as its own thing.
As long as it don't ruin it, I'm good with it.
As long as
fucking Linkle isn't involved, I'm happy.
I mean, if you're looking at something like Pokemon Go, where they're taking the Pokemon out of Pokemon, then I can see how you'd be cheated out of a game. But when they're trying to take it into a different direction that's more mass appeal to great games that do well in that regard. I mean, like Witcher 3 open world type shit and Skyrim open world type shit, it's got its own entertaining values. If you can cross that into something with the IP of Zelda and the world that exists in, maybe it might be good.
I mean, I don't doubt that they can do it well. I'm just saying it's very easy to not do it well. And I can't think of a bad real Zelda game to date. So I have faith that they will do it well, but still the possibility that they fuck it up. Because this is a big change. So
everything Nintendo's doing this go around's a big change. So it's going to be a big kind of gamble.
Yeah,
for them all the way around. I think
I'll be interested in seeing it. I haven't enjoyed a Nintendo system as much as I have the first Nintendo and the SNES. So
yeah,
and that's my deal.
I had a Wii for a little bit, but I lost it. And then the Switch. I miss Wii U altogether. And I missed
much.
I've missed a lot. I missed out on 64 and GameCube and everything. So maybe Switch should bring it back.
The GameCube and the Wii were, as far as titles are concerned, they had the most. The 64, as much as I love it, and it had some top best games of all time on it, but they had very few good titles on it.
That had a good Zelda game on it, didn't it?
Oh yeah, Majora's Mask and Ocarina of Time. Two amazing games.
Mario 64, another best of all time.
I hate to say it, but for the most part, on N64, a lot of the best shit is the Nintendo stuff.
Nintendo and Rare titles. That's it. If it's not by Nintendo and Rare, it probably sucked on N64.
There's a few standout titles that I thought really good. Like Space Station Silicon Valley was a fun game.
I've been playing that again.
Twist 1 and 2 by Sunsoft was really fun. Mega Man Legends for N64,
I didn't care for that one.
I liked it all right, just because.
That's 3D one, right?
Mega Man 60, yeah, it was Mega Man Legends on PlayStation and Mega Man 64, which I enjoyed it all right.
Isn't that the one that was all in the 3D world and stuff?
Yeah.
Oh God, I've only seen videos of it, but that didn't look like Mega Man to me.
It's not Mega Man at all.
It's a Mega Man themed adventure game.
It's like the Castlevania 64 of the Castlevania titles.
We got to do something with 3D, guys.
Yeah, you got to push it into 3D. Yeah,
Mario 64 did it. We can too.
3 dimensions, my fucking God.
We only need
what kind of technology?
Yeah.
What kind of witch magic are you using here? I don't guess we're going to do questions or nothing, being that I didn't ask nothing. You still got a call?
Yeah, we still got Jason's call here. So
we're going to play that.
Give us a call, 682-777-4663 at 682-777-GOOD.
If you don't call us, however, there are penalties.
For those of you who haven't called the show, a warning. If you do not call, you will awaken Satan, and infants shall fall from the sky. Bears will feast on the slow and the witless, vaginas will turn to stone. Serpents rise from the ground, fly into your sphincter and bite. Demons will travel back in time and rape your father. Hell, Satan! You've been warned.
You have been warned.
Jason saved all the vaginas from turning to stone. So.
Your fathers ain't get raped by the devil.
Yep.
Hey guys, Chase Chandler here. I just wanted to wish you all a Merry Christmas. Well, it's over now, but I hope you all had a great one. There's gifts for the both of you.
Thank you, man.
So
Thank you.
Next time I drop by, or if you guys would like me to mail them to you, I've got a special NECA video game appearance of the NES version of Freddy Krueger for Lyle, and I got $20 worth of Steam credit on a gift card for Brennan. So next time you guys see me, got a little Christmas gift for you guys. But I just wanted to ask a question on the podcast for you all. Now that Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite's been announced, which Marvel character would you like to see in it? Which Capcom character would you like to see in it? And better yet, which Marvel and Capcom character do you hope is not in the game? Like, who's lame as fuck to you guys?
No.
All right, talk to you guys later.
First of all, thanks. He's not giving us these presents because we're recording again. This is the second time.
We've went back in time to the future to record you the episode.
I use
that
gift card. I got Hyper Light Drifter and a Steam Link. I've been using Steam Link to stream Roll20 onto my TV for D&D. So that's replaced my map. So my players.
Dude, you're playing a campaign right now?
Yeah, with my kids.
Oh, okay. Playing a campaign with the kids. That's cool.
Yeah, it's a way to spend time with them.
That's the way to be a dad. Hell yeah.
So they get to use a Steam controller to move around the characters on the map.
Oh, nice.
And I DM from a tablet, so we're all sitting around doing that. So that's real cool.
Cool.
And I got Hyper Light Drifter, so pretty badass.
Like he said, he picked me up the Nightmare on Elm Street 8-bit edition Freddy Krueger.
Pretty gnarly.
Enjoy it. Thank you very much, Chase.
Yeah. We got you something coming too. So.
We do.
But yeah, as for the question, the only thing I care about is don't fucking put Ant-Man on there unless he has wife-beating action. That's all I care about.
Ant-Man's badass.
Fuck Ant-Man.
Have you seen that movie?
No, and I'm probably not going to.
That's the best fucking Marvel movie out.
That's
hands
not
down.
much.
Well, I don't know. Guardians of the Galaxy was pretty good.
That was all right. Yeah.
Deadpool was pretty good.
Deadpool's okay.
But Ant-Man was fucking awesome, though.
I'd like to see Deadpool and more Darkstalkers characters. And as far as anybody I don't want to see, do not put a single fucking member of Fantastic Four in that goddamn game.
Yeah.
Just don't do it.
Not a big Fantastic Four fan.
I hate these shit.
I like them when
Fantastic
they're
Four.
in like Spider-Man's.
I respect what Fantastic Four did for comics, but it's kind of like the fucking Beatles for music. I respect what they done for music. Do not give a shit about the Beatles. Like
I like Fantastic Four and their interactions inside the Spider-Man comics, but a Fantastic Four comic is shit. Fuck that.
Put Blade the Vampire Hunter in there. That'd be cool.
That would be cool.
Since,
not the fucking Wesley Snipes one either. Put the actual Blade from the comic in there. Which I don't know. Wesley Snipes would be kind of cool too.
He's pretty good Blade.
Since Capcom made the JoJo Bizarre Adventures of JoJo arcade game, I want to see some JoJo characters.
That'd be kind of rad.
Yeah.
I guess the Magic from the Magic miniseries way back when Magic was cool. I think Magic would have been a good character to like have the silver sword and all the demon powers and shit. That'd be cool.
Yeah, I can't think of anything else.
Who would you not want to see?
Yeah, Ant-Man.
Ant-Man. Fuck. Ant-Man's cool.
Ant-Man and
Fantastic. He has the power to shrink and get stepped on. And beat his wife.
Well,
if he has wife beating action.
With official wife beating action.
In a fighter game, yeah, it wouldn't work. But as a movie, you should fucking see it.
I might get drunk and watch it one day.
Yeah. It's good shit.
I doubt that.
Yeah, me too. I will get drunk too.
I don't doubt the getting drunk part. I doubt the Ant-Man watching though.
I don't want to see the new fucking female Thor or female Wolverine.
Oh yeah, fuck that.
Female Wolverine's going to be in the new Logan movie.
No. Well, no, because that's
X-23.
X-23. Well, yeah, I guess because she is the new Wolverine. I like X-23.
It's not going to be like the Marvel shitty female Wolverine. It's like, I mean, that's X-23.
I just don't like anything new. I like old shit.
Do you think Logan will be all right?
This next movie looks fucking awesome.
I
like X-23. So
I was
yeah,
real big on the Old
good.
Man Logan storyline, so I know they're not doing that per se. I know it's kind of influenced.
Yeah, it's its own thing. No, I like the Old Man Logan stuff a little bit, but I haven't liked Marvel since about the 90s, and like up until 1990, I guess.
Hey, if you've been a Spider-Man fan, I mean, they've had their low point a few years ago. But Spider-Man's been pretty solid.
As far as Marvel goes,
even the Spider-Mans that I've been pulling off the shelves and peeking at, that shit still looks cool.
If you look towards the end of the last main Spider-Man run, which went like nearly 400 issues, where Doc Ock killed Spider-Man, and then they had the little in-between series between the old Spider-Man and the new one, is called the Superior Spider-Man, where Doc Ock possessed Spider-Man's body. And he became like a really badass anti-hero. And it really showed you how much Peter Parker held back. Because Peter Parker tried to not kill people. Doc Ock was like, this is awesome.
Yeah.
I'm going to kill the fuck out of these guys. And, you know, of course, he's still a genius. He's still got the mind of Doc Ock, but he's got all the body and the powers of Spider-Man. And it's really badass. And he eventually, like, through his being an anti-hero, he kind of comes to grips with the fact that, yeah, I'm killing these bad guys, but am I any different because I killed Spider-Man? And he does some science fuckery and switches his brain back with the dead Peter Parker, and Peter Parker comes through in the new Spider-Man, and his life's been all kinds of fucked up because Doc Ock's changed everything. He's like the CEO of a multi-billion-dollar company, and he's married to a midget and all kinds of shit.
What?
And he doesn't know any of it. Yeah. And he didn't know any of it because it's not like Doc Ock left him a note. He just wakes up again and he's like, what the fuck?
I do know that he invented the World Wide Web Peter Parker web style, like totally like cliche on the spider thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, the Spider-Man looks like they never fucked up. Like even through
Spider-Man's
all of this,
my favorite Marvel
converging all of
property.
the multiverse into the 616, and there's no 616 anymore. It's all one thing, and Secret Wars and all this bullshit happened. It still looks like Spider-Man has retained its integrity even through all that mess. But like as far as X-Men and everything goes, I could care less about any current books except for no, there is no current book I care about. I just like the old shit.
Now, Ultimate Spider-Man sucks shit, but Spider-Man's good.
One of my favorite Spider-Man tales was like a 3-issue miniseries called Spider-Man Fever, and it's a really, really fucking weird miniseries. The art style is really odd too. It's all like watercolor and really like psychedelic, but Vulture fucking comes up with a bug spray, and he sprays Peter Parker in the face with shit, and essentially it's like real chemical, laden based shit, and it separates Peter Parker's consciousness from his body, and this giant spider demon and his consciousness is trying to steal his soul.
What?
And of course, but it's just because like he's having his body's dying from this chemical, but somehow all the repressed thoughts of Peter Parker put him in this place, and the only person they can find to get him out of there is Doctor Strange. What? So Doctor Strange ends up having to hop
Spider-Man has a shitload of great crossovers.
Shit, but it's really entertaining. It's wild as fuck.
Of course, Spider-Man's always had crossovers with, again, the Fantastic Four because he
and
started
X-Men.
and X-Men. He started in the Fantastic Four, so that's always been... You've always seen Fantastic Four appear in the Spider-Man comics.
He's kind of always been like the unspoken Avenger, too. You know,
but Spider-Man and the Human Torch, they're both prankster types, and I remember one of them where Spider-Man went into the Human Torch's bathroom and put the web all over his toilet paper, so the Human Torch came running out of there with like toilet paper stuck to his ass and shit.
Okay.
It was fun. I'm like, why don't you just fucking flame on and burn that shit off, dumbass?
Yeah, no shit. You're the Human Torch. Like, nothing sticks on Teflon. Nothing sure as hell sticks on the Human Torch.
But it was a funny moment. Spider-Man's had a couple really good team-ups with Ghost Rider. They were really good.
Yeah, I've always liked Ghost Rider. Not the Nicolas Cage one. Fuck
I was
Nicolas
waiting
Cage.
on it.
I've never seen it, and I refuse to see that movie.
I saw the first one, and I think that's
you
what
saw that fucking movie.
I think that's
willingly?
what started it in me. That's what started the
okay,
one.
that's fair then. I saw the Con Air shit, and I was like, no, I didn't even see it. I just saw the previews for it, and I was like, no.
Put the body back in the box. What fucking breaks my heart the most about the Ghost Rider thing is there was enough people that watched the first one
That made a second
to warrant a fucking second one.
Yeah.
Whatever.
With even more Nicolas Cage.
But if it makes it better, I know I watched it illegally over a hacked satellite box, so not like Nicolas Cage got a dime off me. Not that it would matter if he did, because he just spent it on like blow or something. So
booze.
Jerk himself off to
children hookers.
That's one thing that will always make me happy. Nicolas Cage makes millions of dollars. I'm probably still have more wealth than he does.
Nicolas Cage has a really stupid looking goth son too.
Oh God, he bred.
Dude, while we're on air, you must see this because he looks like if Nicolas Cage fucked Robert Smith of The Cure, and they were high on ketamine. This is what would have happened. You don't say something so it's not dead air while
I'm just trying to imagine
What is this?
visually.
Yeah. He's like, you can call me Malady. Malady Cage.
I think his name's, what is his fucking name? Weston Coppola Cage, I think. It's some fucking stupid name from a stupid person. That's Nicolas Cage's son.
Invented something called ghost metal.
Yeah. How can you do that if you're not a ghost? Maybe you should kill yourself and then invent the music.
Yeah. In fact, hang yourself with your dad. Same noose. Make it work.
Poor bees on his fucking head.
Speaking of ghosts, it's Ghost in the Shell previews.
Yeah.
I'm a big Ghost in the Shell fan. And that's
I want to like Ghost in the Shell. Like, the anime, I try to really like it, and I enjoyed it when I could piece together what was happening, but if you don't watch it beginning to end, you're fucking lost.
Nicolas Cage's son's like a member of fucking Celtic Frost, pretty much.
He's like, if you combined Donnie Darko and Nathan Explosion.
He's not wearing corpse paint and shit.
Wait, guys.
God damn it,
if you
Dad,
were
I'm
Nicolas
so
Cage's
dead.
son, would you have ended up anything else than a self-hating emo motherfucker?
Oh, I'd be dead.
Yeah. He's the look at the death in his eyes. He doesn't want to be alive. This is what happens when you reproduce.
But he's born with the pussiness of Nicolas Cage, so he can't let this off himself. That must be hell.
I'm a big Ghost in the Shell fan. Cheyenne is really good at the free first-person shooter.
Okay.
I like it too, but she's actually really good at it. I don't like these movie previews. They're changing the whole thing about it. Like Motoko is supposedly in this preview, like they've stolen her identity and they're using her, and it wasn't like that at all in the series. So I think they're gonna fuck it up.
It's gonna be a weird thing, definitely.
Well, Ghost in the Shell is such a fucking nuanced series that if you don't get someone who really knows your shit, they're gonna fuck it up.
I think they have fucked it up.
I think it's funny because I know a couple of my anime friends. I don't really know jack shit about anime other than like the major movies. I've seen Ghost Shell, I've seen Akira, Demon City, Shinjuku, and all that shit.
Berserk's pretty much
Berserk. I've watched the Berserk you've brought me. You know, basic anime I know shit about. The main
Dragon Ball Z.
Fuck
Dragon Ball Z and Inuyasha and Naruto can go.
I don't know a goddamn thing about.
Hey! Inuyasha and Naruto are awesome.
Oh, you're not a Naruto, are you?
No, but it's a good show.
I do like Cowboy Bebop.
Cowboy Bebop's
I
decent.
like Cowboy Bebop. You don't like Cowboy Bebop?
Yeah, I like Cowboy Bebop.
Oh, you're just kind of like, yeah.
No, I'm still trying to get over the Naruto and Inuyasha is great.
I fucking hate it because they have that typical shonen. Like, I'm going to announce my attack before I do it. Here's slashing whirlwind demon blade attack. And like, why don't you just like do anti-slashing whirlwind demon blade attack? I just
imagine like some floating fucking anime character's like, and now I'm about to unleash floating dead before he can finish. Some dude's like, he just blows his ass up.
That's one thing I loved about Berserk.
I've unleashed
they
Smith
make fun
and
of
Wesson.
that shit with one of the characters. I can't think of the guy's name now. Corberwitch. I can't remember his first name. That's his last name. He does that shit. He's like, here's the so and so technique passed down from the Corberwitch family for the past 400 years. And Guts just like hits him with the broadside of a sword, knocks him down. And he's like, impressive.
Nice. There was something I was going with toward the anime thing. Oh, what I was going to say, the main complaint I've heard from a couple of my anime friends about the Ghost in the Shell thing is Scarlett Johansson don't have nips. And I'm like, what a trivial, stupid fucking thing to bitch about.
No.
I'm pretty sure the people that said
legitimate.
that,
I mean, wanting to see Scarlett Johansson's nipples
well, yeah, no shit, but I mean, all I got to do is get on Google. You know, like, that's there.
Yeah, but it's not in this movie.
That fact is already ruining this movie for people.
They should be more concerned that she's white and not Asian, but
Well, that's what I'm getting at. They should be more concerned along with lines of like
no, I don't care about the white
compared.
or Asian. I care about.
I'm just talking about like being faithful to the original,
right? And the thing that they should be concerned about is like when she was in the active camo shit. That was a suit. Is not that. Well, no, she was naked. I don't fucking know. All I know is that nipples were a thing in the anime and probably the manga that started the anime. So why not just put it in Hollywood? Oh, because it'll up the rating? Fuck it. Scarlett Johansson's shown her nipples before, right?
Well, is it going? Have they confirmed? Is the movie going to be a PG-13 movie, or is it going actually? Are they going to be able to?
I don't see how they could do it right without it being R.
It's going to have to be R, I would think.
I don't know. But they fucked it up already, as far as I can tell. But hey, if you like free games and you like first-person shooters, go check out the Ghost in the Shell one because I enjoy it, and my wife's actually pretty good at it. So. We'll play you.
We're at the 3-hour mark.
We want to wrap it up.
3 hours.
Let's wrap her up.
You got any more?
Making up for lost, deleted time.
Yeah, you got your 2 episodes right here.
Indeed, condensed. You want to plug anything?
No, I plugged stuff up front.
No more plugging?
Plug it in the front. Don't plug it in the rear, man.
My podcast about Bloodstained is really only about that one specific game, and if you're not interested in it, you'll have no interest in my podcast. But I love it to death. Huge Symphony of the Night and Castlevania Ega fan. So that's why I like Bloodstained. That's why I like talking about it. All the news and everything that comes up for this hyped up game that doesn't exist yet. I like a game that doesn't even exist, so I don't know if everybody can do that. But if you want to hear more from me, I'm in Coleman, Alabama, just like the good old gamers. So, yep. That's all I got to plug.
Nice.
Unless I can plug other people's podcasts, because we did play quite a bit of music on this episode. And if you
do what you want to do, man.
If you like video game music, I would highly recommend one of my personal favorite podcasts. It's just Pixel Tunes Radio. They're a great Facebook group, and that shit is entertaining. One of the upcoming episodes, they did a fan request. You can fan request a song. I fan requested a song, and they picked mine. So I'll be looking forward to hearing the song I get on their next show. So check them out, Pixel Tunes Radio. That's cool. I'd like to plug that one. So
very nice. And I'm going to go ahead and shamelessly plug ourselves real quick. You can find us at goodoldgamers.com. Find us on our Facebook, Good Old Gamers Podcast. You can find us on xvideos.com under the tag Good Old Gamers Anal Money Shot Gape. Search
Cuckolding.
Cuckold Anal Gape. Good Old Gamers. Good Old Gapers. Anal cut, rape gape. Goatsy.
Child porn.
Yeah. Just tag all that shit in your torrent engine. You can find us. Brandon, though, in all seriousness, you did some cleaning up on the site, right?
Yeah. There's a bunch of old shit on there. I hadn't updated the site in forever. I cleared out shit. Cleared out a lot of the shit in the store. Made it a lot simpler. So all the prices, we ain't making a penny off of it. It's all at cost, even though it's still pretty fucking expensive. I wish there's some cheaper way to set up a store, but we ain't got the volume to do that. So,
but we do have a store, goodoldgamers.com/swag.
Yep.
Get that shit. Look good, feel good.
Yeah. And everything's uploaded on YouTube. Fucking like 20 episodes behind. For all 3 people who visit YouTube for podcasts, that's there.
Thank you, you do, Louie.
Yeah.
Drink some more, Lyle. Just run a you do, Louie. Huey, Dewey, and Louie.
Yes, that wraps us up, though, man.
We coming at you again next week. Any questions, shoot them at us. Yep. Lyle or Brandon or podcast at goodoldgamers.com. Be sure to check out Mike McDaniel shit. He's a good guy.
Yep. Thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah, thanks for coming. You want to sign us off?
Until next time, game over, man. Game over.